You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Snap, the kick, it's been blocked again! Oh my! It's been blocked again! He's going to heave one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have won the game! Tyreak Cleveland! Oh my! I can't believe what I just saw! Dropping back to throw. Thompson fires the ball over the middle. It's Murray! It's Murray! Got a touchdown! Murray's got a touchdown! Oh my! Murray's got a touchdown!
Hands it off to Harmon. He comes back. Say goodbye.
Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out a winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's your boy Corey.
It's Dan.
Delatorre.
And your boy Jay Scott 25. What it do, y'all boys?
What up, 2-5?
Yes, sir.
I ain't gonna lie, boy. You sound Ron Burgundy clear on that mic today, Scarlett. I ain't gonna lie to you.
New setting. I guess it's all worked out well, huh?
He's got his how now brown cow. How now brown cow.
No more screaming in the middle of the show. Sorry, guys. We upgraded.
No, it's all good. Man.
That sounds good. And speaking of Ron Burgundy, I'm watching Will Ferrell's new show on Netflix, Hawk. About golf.
I haven't tried.
I don't know if you need to.
Yeah, I just don't love the projects that Will's been doing, and I don't want to see him go out sad. So I try to remember him as Frank the Tank. I try to remember him as Ricky Bobby.
Shake and bake, baby.
You know what it is, Silk? It's the boxer who should have retired 7 fights ago. And you're
Will just gotta transition from like Jim Carrey did later on. He started doing more serious flicks. You know, when the goofy stuff from Ace Ventura just wasn't gonna hit the same, he gotta like evolve as a, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thespian.
Thespian,
yeah, thespian, yeah. That's a good word pull.
Great word,
hey, man. I've been working on it. Hey, same corner, same time. Thanks for everybody for pulling up. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. We got quite the show. Should be a fun one. The smell of football is in the air. We're getting closer and closer, fellas. How was y'all weekend?
We're 5 weeks away. Weekend was good. Low key, not much. Played a little golf, but other than that, I'm relaxing these days. It's just who I am.
I haven't gotten any pictures of bread, no loaves recently.
Yeah, it's been a little while. It's been about 2 weeks since we've made any bread. Will am going to be stepping out of my comfort zone, not my comfort zone, back into an area where I used to live. Zika. I'm going to go see Zika in a couple of weeks over at his music festival. So that'll be fun. That'll be just a Saturday night thing. So shout out to Zika. But weekend was good.
Smells like Dan's in the VIP at the festival.
Maybe so.
Yeah, I had a pretty.
You can drag me out of these places anymore.
I ain't do nothing too crazy. Normal parent stuff as usual. Getting closer and closer to back to school. The last 2 weeks of no summer camp, boy. One thing about having a 6-year-old, she's not old enough to be kind of on her own yet and do on her own yet, but she also like not young enough for like daycare anymore. So it's that the perfect little tweener preparing for first grade, you know. But we finding ways to have fun and spending a lot of money taking her out. But hey. We almost there. Well, last week right here, man. We on the last stretch. We're gonna be there soon.
Yeah, we start Wednesday. So shout out to that, bro.
2 days or next week?
In 2 days.
Oh, yeah. Dang.
I just left orientation. We good to go. So public school starting next week. This is first year. He'll be at Berean Christian. So we had new student orientation today. He starts Wednesday. I'm off the clock, bro, because tomorrow he ain't doing nothing, right? He can't go out and have a blast. He got school Wednesday morning. So yeah, yesterday was the last of his summer shenanigans. He went on for a little bike ride out with about 60 or 70 of his little bike crew. They did their thing, but he's done, bruh. This weekend I ain't do a whole lot. School shopping, you know how it is. You got to take take advantage of that tax-free weekend. Took advantage of that. You know, save a few little coins. The traffic was crazy, but you know, we got through it. And then I went by Komodo. I don't know if you've been there, Scarlett.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
It was star-studded in there. I was taken aback. It was star-studded in there. But if you're into like Asian cuisine, they got some great sushi in an elite menu. It's in Brickell. But dope vibes, music was elite, ambiance, all of that stuff.
Oh, look cool. Look cool. It took me a second to connect the two. Yeah, that looked badass.
That's it. I ain't getting too much. That was just it, man. School, something the usual.
And no, J-Mac, I didn't. You lose your bet. I'll take $100 super chat for losing that bet.
Yep. You picked the wrong horse. Saturday, I had a work function that Lauren ended up bailing on, so I was left unsupervised.
Oh, boy.
Ended up closing down Salty, Dan.
Oh, boy. Wow.
One thing leads to another.
You're passing the baton back. You know.
Speaking of Frank the Tank.
One thing led to another. Next thing I know, Sunday's brutal.
You got just a couple zippers. Sunday. I get it. Been there. Done that.
You don't bounce back on this side of 30 like you used to.
Let's go streaking down the quad.
Nope, kept it in my pants.
Get in the car, Frank. All right, guys. We got a lot to talk about. We got a great show today. We're going to welcome Landon Tengwall onto the show. He's a former offensive lineman under Phil Trautwein. Now he breaks down film. So excited to talk to him about the Gators offensive line and what it's like playing under Coach Phil Trautwein. Then we're going to welcome former Gators running back, walk-on extraordinaire, Mark Herndon, everybody on this podcast's favorite number 37, to don the orange and blue. We're going to talk about the defensive line, and we're going to talk a little Urban Meyer. But before we do that, let's give two quick ad reads, and we'll get on with the show.
Stadium Miguel is powered by the great folks at Brunt Insurance and Financial Services. Anything you need insured, from the Panhandle to the Keys or in the entire Southeast, my man Greg is the best in the business, and I'm sure he can save you some money. Visit him at bruntinsurance.com or give him a call at 954-589-2204. Whether it's home insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, motorcycle, boats, RVs, anything with wheels, anything that floats, my man Greg can take care of you. Again, it's bruntinsurance.com or give him a call at 954-589-2204. Big coverage. You're muted, bro.
Greg, what it do, baby? Nice. People in the house probably think I'm crazy.
And then one time for our friends over the Dykus Burke and Lewis Law Group, if you are looking for a group of attorneys that used to, represent the insurance companies, now work to represent you, look no further. You can visit them at Dykus, that's D-I-C-U-S, Burke, B-U-R-K-E, law.com, or give them a call at 727-258-0043. As we get into hurricane season, keep their number down. It's always good to have water, sinkhole, pesky insurance company that doesn't want to pay out the claim. The Dykus Burke and Lewis Law Group will help you. Again, 727-258-0043. Before we talk defensive line, it was announced today, no real surprise. We were trying to get him on the show today, maybe next week, to talk a little bit more about it. He's at a speaking engagement, but Urban Meyer is going to be formally inducted as the 7th member of the UF Football Ring of Honor. They are doing that on the game of November 7th against Oklahoma, in which he won his second of 2 national championships. He's joining Steve Spurrier, Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, Emmitt Smith, Wilbur Marshall, and Jack Youngblood as a part of that illustrious list. And I think the last person added since Tim Tebow. Very, very strict standards to get in. I like how strict they are, but congratulations and shout out to Urban Meyer, who will be back in the swamp on November the 7th against Oklahoma. You guys have any thoughts?
Yeah, let's get him on the show that week.
Yeah.
No, I would love that.
Nick's needed again.
I think he's well deserving of that for sure.
Yeah.
That's Oklahoma week. That we've talked about that though. I like how exclusive it is. Mm-hmm. Like if Percy Harvin doesn't have the credentials, if Percy Harvin can't get into the club,
you might have a tweak for Percy though, man.
I don't think so. It is what it is.
Who's the greatest not in it? The greatest player not in the Ring of Honor.
Youngblood's in it. Emmitt's in it. Well, like It might be Percy, probably in that realm, because like you got to think
Fred Taylor.
Yeah,
Fred getting snubbed twice is crazy.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
He got snubbed here.
If Fred gets into the NFL Hall of Fame, then that would make him eligible for the Ring of Honor.
I just don't know what more Fred has to do to get in.
Well, he can't because he's retired. So
is it? No. I mean, to get the votes, right? Like,
time for him to get in is come and gone.
Yeah, I mean, he can get back in shape. I think Fred Taylor's up there. Oh man. I mean, there's so many people that are well deserving of being like highly recognized, maybe more
Is
than
Javon
just like,
Curse in it?
No, just Spurrier, Tebow, Werfel, Emmett, Wilbur, and Jack Youngblood.
Yeah, it gotta be Fred or Percy as the greatest that aren't in the Ring of Honor. It's gotta be one of them two.
Yeah. I mean, certainly like Ike Hilliard, Riddle, Anthony Jacques Green, those guys were all spectacular. Carlos Alvarez, again, spectacular, but just not that next level.
Okay. The achievements, you have to time elapse has to be 5 years away from the university. It must be in good standing with the university. Shout out to Urban Meyer being in good standing. You have to win a Heisman.
Never in bad standing. That was just a fan dislike.
I don't know about that.
You gotta be a Heisman winner, Pro Football Hall of Fame, an NFL category leader who was also an All-American at Florida, collegiate career category leader, coach with a national championship, coach with at least 3 UFSEC championships, players with 3 or more consensus All-Americans, 2-time national offensive or defensive player from of the year.
I mean, it's going to be nearly impossible to get in from now on.
Like there's the UF Hall of Fame, like there's the Florida Hall of Fame, which you can get in. You can be honored. Jeff Demps was there. Jeff Demps is in it. A lot of guys get that.
Yeah.
The Ring of Honor, like to have your name on a sign on top of the stadium, it's different.
Yeah.
I was just curious who's the ghost that didn't get in.
Yeah. I think we got him. Fred Taylor, Percy Harvin.
Yeah, I feel like
Jordan
seeing those names in the stadium, nobody's gonna be mad at those guys. Like nobody's mad at those names going up.
Yeah, but then you have to lower the standards to something that both of them get in, and then how many other people get in.
Yeah,
I guess you're right. I'm with you when you're right on that one.
And all of a sudden, Jordan.
There's not a lot of space up there. So
I think I'm supposed to be out there anyway. You hear me?
I mean, I think when they created it right after Tebow. Is that when they did the signs?
Ironic, huh?
I mean, so
the signs were up when Tebow was there.
Then they went up right, maybe senior year, maybe in 2010. Maybe somebody can fact check that. But like, I think that they thought of all of these different scenarios in which they can include somebody and how hard it is to make it. So awesome. Congratulations to the Pounceys. I don't know which Pouncey you're talking about. Both are M, probably Marquise Pouncey. He might be he might be a Hall of Famer. I think he finds out pretty soon.
Both will be a Hall of Famer.
Maybe another year.
Yeah, I think they both should be.
Yeah, I think both of the Pounceys end up being a Hall of Famer. I don't know if they first ballot both of them, but
I think Marquise Pouncey has a better chance of getting him before Mike.
Yeah, I don't know that Mike will, honestly. Being a Dolphins fan.
I think Mike Pouncey is going to be in that Hall of Very Good again.
Yeah.
Yeah, one for the Steelers. Yeah.
Marquise is eligible this year.
Okay. So I don't know if he's a first ballot guy or not. I don't know how they judge offensive linemen. Obviously, a number of all pros, a bunch of Pro Bowls, and widely considered the best at his position for probably a 3 to 4 year range there. But
does a kicker has the same qualifications as well? That seems like impossible, especially.
What if part of that was like a career? If you owned a career stat, like what if Johnny Townsend owned like 3 straight years of most punt yardage? Eligible.
Yeah, but that just makes you eligible. That doesn't mean that you get it.
Makes you eligible.
Can you imagine if you did and they
Did you imagine
once you're eligible, what's the criteria? Like, how do you get over that hump once you're eligible?
I don't know. I remember talking with this is going back to like when I was still at Rivals, asking Scott Strickland, like, hey, when's Urban going to be in the Ring of Honor? And then thinking about it all the way back when I was at Rivals. Well, because he's the athletic director.
You think he decided it?
I think he could say yes or no, and then it would happen.
I don't think he's making any decisions in the building. I'm just kidding. I kid. This is a parody show.
Yeah, it's a parody show.
We haven't heard that in a while.
All right, let's go ahead, Nick. Finish up real quick, and then we'll get to defensive line before our guests.
No, I think that's it. That's all I have.
Let's get on to the defensive line, just because we are going to be on a little bit of a time crunch today. The Gators are going to be replacing 3 of their 4 starters on the defensive line. They did do a lot of rotation last year. Caleb Banks, George Gumbs, and Tyreak Sapp are headed off into the NFL here. Jayden Woods and Kamran James are your 2 anchoring the front. One is a defensive end, more of that Cam James and Emmanuel Adebayo side of the ball. And then the jack position that Jayden Woods, KJ Ford, Kofi Asari, stand up, put your hand down, edge returners are going to be there. Your middle is Joseph Mbachu and Brandon Bett, with DK Kalu and Jeremiah McLeod as the 2 backing those guys. Jamari Lyons, coming off of injury, will be back into that group as well. Some other names that you guys might care about, Jalen Wiggins, LJ McCray are certainly in the mix for some playing time as well. So guys, just with the next 15, 20 minutes, let's talk. What are your thoughts on this defensive line as we look into 2026?
Who you want to start, Nick?
Yeah, I'll say I'm struggling with turning my mic on and off. I think based on what I've seen, the starting 4, Jack, and I'll go 1, 2 at each position. Jayden Woods, then KJ Ford.
Yep.
As his backup. At end, I think it's Cam James starting, and then LJ McCray backup, E-Man backup.
Okay.
But I would
is that what we're calling him? Is E-Man?
Emmanuel.
Yeah. I just want to make sure, because like another the last name is
Body Joe.
We'll call me E-Man.
There you go.
E-Man sounds cooler.
You can say Body Joe, or you can say E-Man.
I like E-Man. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So I think I think it's Cam James, but obviously
nicknames around here, man.
All right, then hit me with the last name, Corey.
Carry on.
Okay, man. I think it's Cam James starting now. He's kind of developed into a leader on the line. Him and Brendan Bett in that defensive line room, and on the defensive line, or in the defensive room as a whole. But I could see them being kind of interchangeable. McCray and James, with E-Man being like the 3rd guy in that room. Defensive tackle, I think it'll be Jamari Lyons over McLeod, but also would not be surprised if they each started 6 games, or if they're each playing equal snaps.
Sure.
But those are your 2 guys, with Mbachu and Clinton behind them. And then at nose, Brendan Bett. I would put it in the order: Brendan Bett, DK Kalu, and then Mbachu.
Yeah, just to mention what Nick said, Mason Clinton, former walk-on, redshirt junior.
Mason Clinton from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. One of the people that Brett Favre stole money from. Allegedly. It's a parody show.
I lied. He transferred. I'm sorry. I'm getting him confused with somebody else. He transferred from Southern Miss after playing at Louisiana, then East Mississippi Community College, and then Southern Miss. My apologies. Brain fart.
Yeah, we lost some. Go ahead.
I was just saying that's the line. That's pretty much the whole room.
Okay, yeah, I think we lost some key guys. I think Campbell was a big lost in that room. So I also thought he was the anchor of that room. He made everything go. So I'm just interested to see who's that guy this year. I think Jayden Woods is the fan favorite, most talented, probably the strongest kid on the team. I also think that edge position is probably it's debatable because I like the D tackle, but I think that edge room is probably the most talented room with Jayden Woods, E-Man. Right, he's playing edge, right? Am I mistaken?
No, end. Well, like,
he's an end in LJ, KJ, and KJ and Woods are your jacks.
They call it jack. It's the
Wiggins
edge.
too, right? I like Wiggins. Where's Wiggins? He's not edge either?
No. So the way they split it up is Bam Hardman has the edges, which would be like your stand-up 34 linebacker would be the jack. And then everyone else, the only people in that room are like Jayden Woods, KJ Ford, Kofi Asari, and then like TJ Bullard and a couple of like former walk-ons. That room's kind of thin. But at end, DT and nose are all
end is probably the deeper room then, in my opinion.
Yes, end is much better.
End is the deeper room. But I also like the interior defensive line, Brandon Bett. I don't know who's going to be that Caleb Banks type of guy that's just, emerges as a first-round type talent, pushes the pocket, style on run defense, can pass rush. I like Brandon Bett. He showed a lot of promise as a true freshman at Baylor and then also last year. Jamari Lyons, can he get back to the form he was trending to before he got injured? That's going to be one to watch. Love Jeremiah McLeod. And Bachu looks like an animal from the pictures I've been seeing off-season wise. Some of the guys that was at that cookout was sending me pictures. Shout out to the Coaches Coalition. And those guys at Murky Waters, they were sending me some footage. And Bachu is just an animal. I think he's a big guy that has a lot of upside and could climb the depth chart and be, one of those more premier guys right alongside Bett. But it's a lot of talent in the defensive line room. If they live up to that potential, Jayden Woods being an edge rusher that we haven't seen since Dante Fowler. If he can get into that form, I think we can have a special season. I think that's going to help the secondary out big time. But it starts up front. It's cliche, but on both sides of the ball, it starts up front. I feel better about these trenches than the offensive trenches. And then they got some of the best coaching in the country with Chapman. I think Chapman is a top 5 defensive line coach, no matter how you shake it out. Could be higher than that, but I think he's one of the more premier coaches in college football. So I think that room is going to excel this year.
And then we forgot to mention Stevie. I don't know if it's Stevie.
I was going to mention
Kofi. I like Kofi too. I think Kofi's going to surprise some people.
I think Kofi's just behind KJ. But that's a freshman. You're a true freshman. I know Duncanville makes him bigger than some other schools. But like KJ Ford, like David Reese, who coaches in that edge room with Bam, told me like spring practice 6, like we have to get KJ. He has to play this year. Like we have to get him ready. And he is right behind Jayden Woods in everything that they do. But you get Steve A in. I talked to the staff. So he's listed at like 290 something, like on the recruiting pages. But they expect him to, when he gets and rolls and gets on campus this week, to be over 300. They view him as like a 5 tech, but someone who will probably grow into a 3.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention this. It was in my personal notes to do that. The Gators did have an announcement of Stevie Bentley Kamaju, a member of the class of 2027. We mentioned on this show a number of weeks ago, I don't know, probably 2 months ago, that we didn't understand how he could play football this year with going into his 19th year of living. So he did reclassify for the class of 2026. Nick mentioned he'll be on campus this week. 6'4", Nick, you said about 290. They wanted to be over 300 at that 5.
Oh, no, they expect him to be over 300.
Oh,
when he gets to campus, his first weigh-in, they expect him to be over 300, like 305.
Okay. I don't know how to incorporate him into any depth chart conversation, just because I think that there's already some decent depth there, that it's nice to have him in the weight room and develop him, but that's probably a next year thing.
Yeah, so I don't know. So, like, I saw Chapman Saturday at the event, and he's like, I told you we were going to get Steve A. But, like, he's excited about him, excited that he's on campus, but, like, also it's a kid who's played 1 year of football.
Right.
This will be year 2 of football. Great size, but like you're learning the game.
Yeah, you're learning on the fly. Yeah, I think for me,
you're gonna need. Go ahead, Charlie.
No, I was just gonna get my little D-line picture. I think for me overall, I think I'm not so scared of this position, but I feel like this position will do pretty well because last year we had, our top guy go down, and I think the defense still stood on business and was doing what they were able to do. Obviously, that starts up front. A lot of younger guys got to showcase their talent, and we have some of those younger guys back, not all, but I think overall we're going to be pretty good. I think for me, what I'm really looking at and looking for is to see, like, what do our transfer portal guys do? Like, how big of a piece were they implementing in this? Like, Mason Clinton, I believe he was, a dude from JUCO.
Yeah.
I want to see, was he even – Southern Miss, right? I think, like, was he a guy that was worth the squeeze to go get, right? Or could we win out another route and going somewhere else and getting somebody else? So that's what I'm kind of looking for in his D-line, like, because I know Chapman going to try to rotate a lot, keep his guys fresh so we can keep the dogs coming all night. But I just want to see when he gets in there, what will he do with his opportunity, and that goes for all our transfers that we got in. But I'm mainly looking at him just to see, like, because they did, right? I think we look at this transfer portal and we look at the quality of guys we got. I guess you could say just basing it off of the school they were at, stats, etc. I don't think we shot that high for the program that we were. I think we were kind of getting like low-key pieces and low-key gem guys. So I hope they turn out to be gems, and that's kind of what I'm looking for, to see how do we recruit and evaluate talent for real in the portal, and what could our portal pieces do for us? Because, I mean, portal is almost the future now in this. So if we can manage to get some good portal pieces at a low cost, because I think that's what we kind of did. I think we spent more money on retention and actually in the portal. I feel like that's where I'm kind of hoping that we win that as well.
It's interesting you say that. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
No, just contribute a little bit to what he was saying. I think one of the things to watch is going to be nose tackle, right? I think we got some good D tackles, but I don't think we did a good job of replacing, some of our guys that left to the NFL, and also Michael Burrow, who's at that spot. We got some good guys that could be D tackles, but nose tackle just eating up blocks. That heavyweight, just fat guy. We're missing that guy.
Yeah, just looking through here. Jordan, you make a good point. It's going to be interesting. Based on what Nick just said, I don't know if any of the transfers that just came in are even second string. I mean, maybe DK Kalu is. E-Man, him and LJ McCray seem to be battling for that second spot. But Cam James is a senior. He's shown a lot of flashes. I think now we just need to see the consistency out of him. Jamari Lyons coming off injury, redshirt senior, that there's a huge expectation for him last year. And then Joseph Mbachu, we saw step up a bit. Brandon Bett entering his second year. Jeremiah McLeod in that mix. And then Jayden Woods with KJ Ford, the true freshman right behind him. I really like that front four. I really like maybe the next group behind. I'm really curious to see. I think E-Man is a guy that if you were to tell me which of the transfers you're most excited about, he's a guy that I know he might not get as much playing time as maybe some of the other transfers, but based on who is recruiting him, what his raw skill set is, and how he's still learning the game, just another year in the system, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see him maybe even battling Cam James out for that spot, which is interesting because there's high and lofty expectations for LJ McCray as a former five-star coming in here. So I think that this group has some talent. I agree with you. I think losing Makai Burrow is a tough loss. I think that space eater, being able to get in, take up two guys at one time, we may not have the skill set for right now the way that it looks. But this is a group, a pairing of four is probably – maybe second or third behind running back and wide receiver in terms of my confidence level going into this year, at least that front two groupings without injuries being involved.
All right.
What's y'all's expectation for LJ McCray this year?
That's one interesting to watch, man. I've heard good things about him in the offseason and in spring, right? I think a good comp for him if we could get like a John Bullard type, ending to his career. I would say. He had 5-star billing coming in. I don't think he's lived up to it, whether it's injury. Want to see his body change and his body composition, him change that, the tone of, what he's looking as an athlete. So I'll be looking for that in spring camp to see if fall camp to see if his body changed or whatever. But I don't know really what to expect. I don't know if he's, Javon Kirsch type guy coming off the edge. I don't think he has that type of get off as a DN. I think more John Bullard would be my comp of what I would want out of him as a body type guy, skill set. But it's all a mystery. I think this is a make or break. It's like for lack of a better term, shit to get off the pot type of year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Some of his weight room numbers have gone up, but like he looks the same. Like physically, he looks the same. I think he's just kind of like that long, lean. Like John kind of blew up his junior year, senior year, where he got like big, like looked like a defensive tackle. LJ,
I think LJ wasn't as. I don't know what the direction they've been trying to go with his body, right? Because he came in a little heavier, I thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a question of could he possibly slide inside. So now that he may be on the thin side, I don't know what direction. He's one of those guys to me. Probably mimics a little bit more Zach Carter's career than anything. Like Zach came in super skinny, then he gained weight and got big, but everybody's trying to figure out. And then Zach ended up sliding inside and doing some different things. I just don't know, like developmental wise, what they're trying to do with LJ from the last regime to this regime. It's just all a mystery to me. So my expectations are low. Hope he surprised me. I heard some Carlos Dunlap comparisons.
Right.
Not for me.
Somebody said a Jarvis Moss type. I don't think he's tall enough.
He's 6'6".
Jarvis was slim.
6'6". Yeah, he's 6'6".
Straight edge, fast. LJ's big. He's tall as hell.
Yeah. LJ is like a legit 6'6", 6'5", 6'6", 6'7".
Nick, not doing that anymore.
But yeah, just like long, lean. He is not like if you're going into camp looking for like a body transformation, like he looks how he's always looked, in my opinion.
All right. Yeah. Well, we've got a guest waiting for us. Speaking of 6'6",
who probably hates the D-line talk.
He probably does, and he's going to have to wait for another segment because we got to do a quick ad read. I see him laughing, ready to go. He's been there for like 4 minutes. One time for our friends over at Game Time Sidekicks, if you're looking for a really cool cup, this is the Etch Stadium and Gale one there. Go visit our friends over at Game Time Sidekicks. Use promo code Stadium15. It'll get you 15% off of your order. Florida Gators, some NIL stuff, a bunch of different colleges and universities, really cool products, and keep your hot drinks hot and your cold drinks cold. Go support a longtime sponsor of the show. He continues to sponsor because you guys keep buying cups. Again, one time for our friends over at Game Time Sidekicks, promo code Stadium15, and you will get 15% off of your order. And with that, we are going to welcome a former 4-star offensive lineman at Penn State who now breaks down tape and coaches on Behind the Wall. He played for new Florida Gators offensive line coach Phil Trautwein. Landon Tengwall, we appreciate you joining Stadium and Gale, my friend.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys having me on. I'm excited to talk some ball.
Man, we're super excited, and wish we would have had you on a couple weeks ago. Nick dropped the ball. No surprise. So, Landon, I want to learn a little bit about you, then we'll break down the Gators offensive line. I know you've been doing some film breakdown that have gone over the internet and viral in Gator country. Talk to us a little bit about your experience over at Penn State and being coached by Phil Trautwein.
Yeah, so I got to Penn State in 2021. It was kind of I early enrolled, so it was like January 4th of 2021. So we were still height of COVID, all that craziness going on. And Trout had just gotten there about a year earlier, came from Boston College. And, had a fairly good career, played the last 4 games of my true freshman year, going into my second year starting at guard. Goes pretty well, 7th game of the year at Michigan. I end up tearing my rotator cuff. I'm out for the year. And then going into year 3, 2023, fall camp. Balling, feeling good, and I get like my 6th concussion, And everything kind of went downhill from there for me because it was a little bit different from the other ones. I was dealing with a lot of like the mental side, and it was a tough time. So I ended up actually retiring from football from that. And thankfully, they still decided to pay for the rest of my tuition. And I was a broadcast journalism student. And 2024, I just started covering Penn State football, did that for about a year and a half. And I still mainly do Penn State football, but I'm starting to branch more and more into all of college football. And really these past 6 months, especially the last college football playoffs, I started to do a lot of film breakdowns of other teams and then really dove into breaking down entire offensive lines. So I think I've done Alabama's offensive line, Notre Dame, Texas, Oklahoma, and now I am on to Florida. But obviously there was a familiarity there with Phil Trautwein. So I kind of dove into that and said, hey, I want to give everybody kind of a behind the scenes look in what it was like to be coached by Trautwein, but also the fact that it was really similar. Like when I looked at Florida's situation, I'm like, this reminds me a lot of what really Trout walked into in 2020 and 2021 at Penn Sate.
We got to get you down to campus. We'll get you, you can do live film breakdown. Bring your own camera.
Dude, I'm going to tell Trout because he's a big reason why I think I'm pretty decent at it. And he's the reason why, because he was so detail oriented. And that's why I get so like in the weeds with the film. He's a big reason because of that.
Before we dive into the Gators offensive line, I want you to talk a little bit about, so you were recruited by him. What's he like as a recruiter? And then how is that different from him being a coach? And like, what are some of the characteristics that he had that you liked during his time while you were at Penn State?
Yeah, so it was funny. He called me, day after he got the job. He called me and he was like, "I'm gonna recruit the crap out of you, all this stuff." And I was like, "Coach, honestly, I'm like silent committed already. I don't know if they told you, but like, it's all good. You don't got to worry about it." And he was like, "Oh, cool." But he still went after it. Like I remember he would constantly call me. I remember when he came to my school, he was like, "I want to meet everybody." He like ended up meeting my girlfriend at the time. Like we're like a junior in high school, and he's like, it's like 6:45. We get there off the bus. I'm like rubbing my eyes, and he's like there meeting my family and my girlfriend. And so he was really, really good. And then I remember, so that was kind of spring of 2020, right before COVID happened. And then that fall was his first season at Penn State. And it was still not good. Like Penn State's offensive line for a while was really bad. And so he came in and it was like, he needs to rebuild this offensive line. And 2020 was still rough. Like it was a bad year for James Franklin and company. Not as bad as 2025 somehow, but still a bad year. And so I remember Penn State played Maryland, and you don't really ever lose to Maryland at Penn State. And they got whooped. And I think we gave it like 7 sacks to Maryland. And I remember him calling me afterwards. And I was obviously still committed at this point. And I think he was kind of worried. And he was like, "I'm going to get this right. Like, I promise you, I am going to fix this." I'm like, "Coach, it's all good. I'm not going anywhere." And slowly but surely, and if you really kind of look at the stats, I was just looking at him year by year, the rushing yards per game went way up. The sacks allowed went way down. And you saw him just kind of start to build and cultivate a really cool offensive line room. And it wasn't just that, like the way he went about his business is why we were able to build the offensive line room that we did. And kind of once you get to 2024, when Penn State went to the semifinals, Drew Aller really wasn't that good that year. There was Tyler Warren, who was one of the best tight ends in college football. But the offensive line, like you were just running the football. And he created an offensive line not only that had a lot of talent, but had great depth. That had 2 first-round picks on it. Like Penn State hadn't had a first-round pick since 2007, I think, and he had 2 in his time here. He also had a first-round pick at Boston College and Chris Lindstrom, who's still kind of considered one of the best guards in the NFL. So like he has developed the crap out of some guys. But really, it was just kind of his mindset. Like every day, he is the same guy that shows up. And I was actually just talking about this. One thing I always remember, like, is his notes. So every coach, DB, wide receiver, whatever, after a game, they're going to give you notes from each play. He took that a step further. I never went through a practice in my life at Penn State where I did not have full notes from every single play, even the walkthroughs, like pre-practice walkthroughs, where we're just kind of taking our steps. He's writing notes about that. So like every time after practice, like we'd get done. It's like 9 p.m. at night, and we're deep into fall camp. And we bring it up as an offensive line. And he's like, "Yo, all right, guys, I'm going to go up in the office and I'm going to watch all of practice and give you guys the notes from every single play. And I'm not going to leave until they're done." And I mean, it'd be like 1:30 in the morning and I'd wake up and he's sending the notes then. Or I'd wake up the next morning, it's like 6:30, and I see the notes were sent at like 2:34 a.m. Like, meaning he stood there, like he stayed in the office to do that. And I had never really seen or heard of a coach doing that. And that's just how he operated. Like he was always going to give you instant feedback. There was never going to be a question of what's wrong with my game or what do I need to do to fix it. Like, because every single play and rep is broken down by him on tape, you're going to know where you stand with Phil Trautwein. So that was really cool. And then just overall, just kind of how he went about building the room. Like, for example, our conditioning test was pretty rough. And we had an offensive lineman that was kind of like a fat, overweight guy, which most of us are, but it was even worse. And so Trout is a guy, he eats clean. Like, he's like 10% body fat. Like, so that's a really good example with that. He decided to go
how much he showed you of his film. He did not look like that when he was in your shoes as a player. He was not.
Looked a little bit more like you when I was in school. Yeah.
I know. We used to mess with, we put like the photos up, and dude, we got the greatest Florida stories that I probably cannot tell on here. I'll be honest.
I can only imagine.
Nobody's stopping you but yourself, brother.
Dude, so he gets out there and he runs the conditioning test with the guy on our offensive line that's struggling to like show I'm with you, like I'm with you guys through everything. I remember like the off season, like he does anything he can do to get us better. He got us hooked up with the local MMA like fighter, and he had us going in there the entire offensive line, and he was working on our hand-to-hand combat to get us better in pass pro with our hands. Like anything, we'd be in his garage at his house, like doing drills and like anything you could do to get better. That is what he's about. And that's why I've always had so much respect for him. Obviously, 2025 just went bad for Penn State as a whole. And so the offensive line didn't really do well either. But up to that point through the 2024 season, like it just got better year by year with Phil Trautwein.
Looking at what Florida offensive line looks like right now and, you know, what he's done in the past, Phil, how does that translate to the rebuild? Because I think our O-line's in a rebuild type mode, right? How does that rebuild translate from what he did at Penn State, and what type of timeline should we kind of expect for us to have a stout room?
Yeah, I mean, I think naturally it is just going to take some time, and there are guys, especially at the tackle position. I think that's kind of the consensus, and that's my takeaway from watching all the film. That's where I have the biggest question. Like, I think Caden Jones has a ton of talent, obviously a massive human being, and has a pretty clean pass set. But like overall, there are some things we really need to clean up there. Left tackle as a whole, the Emeka Igorji tape is not kind. I'm just going to be honest from his tackle tape. But obviously, he was a true freshman playing ball, and it's not easy to do that. Now, on the interior, I think that's where you're solid. You obviously had the battle at right guard that I am curious to see how that pans out. And kind of my prediction with that is that you're probably going to get a rotation, because that was a situation I was in where I won the left guard battle, and I was battling out with the transfer. And even though I won, we still swapped out probably every 3 drives that entire 2022 season. And Trout's someone that is big on playing all the guys he believes can play. And like he'll say that too. I think I even saw him say that to the Florida media that like, hey, if I can play 8 guys, like you're probably going to see 8 guys if I have belief in 8 of them. So I think that's something to kind of expect, is that there is going to be growing pains. It's not like he's like a magic wizard that's going to come in and be like, poof, like amazing offensive line, because this offensive line still does have some weak points, and you got to get better there. Now, I think a couple things. I think you got Buster Faulkner, who is going to scheme this up a lot better than you've seen in the past. And the other piece of this is Buster Faulkner brought what is going to be the best offensive line and on this squad in 2026. I mean, Harrison Moore, that's some tape that gets me fired up. Like, without a doubt, I think that's the best offensive lineman on the squad, and he's going to be able to do so much, like him pull, get out in space. Buster Faulkner loves his wide receiver screens, and I was just watching Moore today, and he gets out there and he will obliterate a safety. If he catches him lacking, like, it is over for the safety. So as a whole, I'm excited about where this offensive line's going. I really want Fletcher Westfall to get healthy, because I went back and watched his 2024 tape, and I'm like, this is a guy that should start at left tackle. But obviously, I know he's still fighting through injuries there. So I think you got a lot of upside. And also, Trout's going to recruit well. Like, you obviously see that he basically brought Hiller with him, number 2 player in America, the number 1 offensive lineman. But he's only going to continue to do that. Like at Penn State, I mentioned how he got more and more, first-round draft picks. But he also, I think in his time here, he had, for a while, I mean, Penn State was not getting any good recruits on the offensive line. And then his time, I think we had 6 or 7 top, I looked at like 85 nationally recruits or better, not like offensive line, just across the board. I think you had like 6 or 7 of those guys. So you got, I think, 3 5-stars maybe. Like, that was unheard of in the past 10, 15 years. So it's not only that he's going to develop the room, he's going to continue to get better and better players. So I would say I'm looking at, to really be a bunch of studs out there in probably a solid 2 years. But I think you're just going to see little improvements each year.
I've got one for you. Well, one, our resident running back, Jordan Scarlett, played running back at Florida. I saw his eyes light up when you said, a pulling center, obliterating a safety. That means I don't have to take him on. I saw him going through it, but like, where was that? A little bit about that right tackle or right guard platoon, because I think last year we saw Bryce Lovett try to play tackle and then didn't really have the feet, didn't have the footwork or the speed to play right tackle. They threw him into guard. It looked like he didn't have the strength to play guard. You've had a whole off season now to kind of get into the weight room, new strength and conditioning coach. But I think the battle there is with TJ Shanahan, who came over with Phil and Bryce at right guard. Now TJ is also like your third center. They've been working on him snapping, which I think will be the first time he's tried to do it. But obviously Phil is familiar with TJ. How much do you think, hey, even if Bryce wins, hey, this is a guy who I will rotate?
Yes, I think that will, obviously when you bring someone with you, Trout's not the type of guy to promise anybody a starting job. So I think TJ knows that. And I believe you guys were the ones that did the reporting, or someone in the Florida realm did some reporting on Lovett and how much he transformed his body this offseason and added a ton of muscle and dropped a ton of fat. So I am hoping, because I did kind of have the same takeaway where he's that tweener where it's like, you're not really a tackle. I don't feel like you have the full length, but yeah, you don't have that mauling tendency to be able to be a guard and just take a 2-eye and just move him out of the way. So yeah, there's that. And TJ Shanahan just overall looks a stronger play strength on tape. So I'm curious to see how this battle goes. It seems like it's going to be really close. And like I said, anytime Trout has a close battle, I remember even talking, I had a couple of guys that played under Trout at Boston College, and it was kind of the same way there. If they felt like Trout felt like, hey, I got a couple guys at this position that are battling out, they're probably all going to play going into the season. Now, like I have mixed feelings about that, because I think on one hand, it creates depth. And if you have injuries, it's a good situation to have guys that have snaps under their belt. But on the flip side, as someone who lived that, it's hard to get into rhythm. It's hard when I'm in a game and I'm going against a defensive tackle. And it's really a game of chess. Like we get to a point where we're 12 pass pro reps into it, and he's been setting me up for this move. And like, I'm working something, I'm waiting to hit him with the inside hand coming low, like whatever it may be. And when I'm getting pulled out every third drive for 3 drives, like it starts to mess with that feeling. It also messes with, how comfortable I am with my right tackle and my center. Like I think that hurts them too. Like if I might have a trust with, I'm a trust with Bryce that I don't have with TJ, or maybe the opposite way around. So there's qualities, there's good things and bad things with rotation, but it's something I would expect with Trout.
Yeah, you're fresh, but it's like playing, at the final table of the World Series of Poker, but you get like pulled out and you're like, no, you can't even watch how the guys are playing their hands. We're just going to throw you back in and go try to win a golden bracelet.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of ask, how do you feel about, I know we kind of hit on it a little bit, but just as far as like position change, and like how well do you think Trautwein can view a position change where maybe a guy came in like as a guard and necessarily maybe you want to make him a center or whatever the case may be. I just want to see how good is he at evaluating that, and how well do you trust his word when you want to switch a kid's positions, right? We all been there. As a player, you come in, you play something your entire life, and the coach is like, hey, well, I don't think you're necessarily a tackle. I think you'll be better at guard. And, now they feel like they're getting in their feelings and like, oh, coach doesn't believe in me, doesn't think I'm good, So how well is his evaluation on that? And I guess how does he really go about doing it to make you feel good about what you're doing?
Yeah, I lived that exactly. So I came in as a tackle, and I was top 100 recruit. So I'm like thinking, my shit don't stink. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be a left tackle, Penn State. Like I'm the guy, blah blah blah. Right. So I come in. He makes me play right tackle at first, and so I'm like, all right, cool. And I had never played right tackle in my life, bro. Yeah, and it feels like when you switch sides on offensive line, that's one thing I am worried about. That's one thing I am worried about with Emeka Gorgie is that he's never. I went back watch his high school tape too. He has never played on the left side his entire life until spring ball. So that is actually.
Oh my God, Landon, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, man.
Well, like,
I was just about to start
to have you
lying,
on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have nightmares.
Yeah, that is one thing I can tell you though. I think
All right, wrap
Phil
it up, Landon. Time to go.
I think Phil made that decision because he hasn't played at all on the right side in the spring or in the summer. So I think once they made the decision, like, hey, you're either going to play left guard or left tackle, but you're going to play on the left side. Like he hasn't. Because I've always said that to people because I feel like we play Madden or you play college football and you're like, hey, you're rated an 88 at left and right tackle. I'll just put you to the right and we're fine. And it's we're not playing a video game.
Boy, that different foot trying to kick off that other foot ain't so easy, boy.
you know what dude. I get out there. I never played right tackle. It's early enroll, so it's spring ball. And he's like, all right, you on right tackle? You were at the twos today. I get out. We got this guy, Smitty, bro, from New York, 6'6", 275 defensive end, big boy. Comes off, and like I'm like stuck. Like my left tackle pass set, I'm sweet. Right tackle, it's like a quicksand. I try to get out, and I kind of get like stuck. My cleat, bro. Helmet into my chest, into the ground, and I get the head coach. Coach, he's got a whistle. He's like, get up. I get embarrassed in front of the whole team. It was the worst experience of my life. But saying all that to say, Trout very quickly, like we had conversations my true freshman season. He was like, look, you're gonna stay at tackle because that's where we need you right now. And I ended up having to fill in a couple different times, especially towards the end of the year at left tackle. But he's like, you're gonna play guard because you're a guard. That's just like you don't move well enough. And we just had honest conversations. And like I appreciated the fact that he is going to just say what the truth is. And he's not going to like completely just come down on you and just like make you feel bad. But he's like, look, I'm just going to be honest. Like you don't move well enough to play tackle. And so I did appreciate that. And he worked with me and he was like, look, anything you want to do to talk about guard, let's work on the guard footsteps that are a little bit different than your tackle ones, like all that. Come over to my house. Like we'll have food. My wife will make dinner and then we'll go out in the garage. And like, that's the type of guy he is and builds those relationships. So I don't worry too much about that. But overall, back to your original question, I do feel like he is a really good judge of, is this guy a guard? Is this guy a center? And over his career, he kind of has this path, and I'm curious to see who this happens with. I think Jason Zandamela, is that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he's probably the future, so this isn't a situation you have to worry about in the near future. But Trout at center, but Trout was he likes his older guard who's basically going into their last year to then transfer to center. Now, like I said, if you have a backup center that's going to be a damn good center, is already veteran next year, he's going to play him. But that is a trend that Trout did probably 3 times in his 6 years at Penn State.
I think Zandamela and Moore Zandamela and Moore are the same class, though. I think I could be wrong. I think they're both
you're right,
sophomores.
Redshirt sophomore and junior. So there's a year, same high school class. Go ahead, Corey. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, yeah, that's something that we've seen happen under the Urban days, which Phil is probably familiar with as well. But when you look at our O-line, is it more of a technique issue or talent issue, you would say, when you look at like some of our deficiencies from last year?
Oh no, I think it's absolutely technique. I look at it. There's a lot of lunging all over the tape. Like even as much as I love Harris and he's going to be a rock in there. And that's like the only downside to his tape. Like I see him lunge from time to time, especially Caden Jones is just obviously such a big body. You just got to get a little bit more comfortable. But the same thing, just kind of you get these moments of like lunging, especially in the run game where he'll just get swiped. And it's like, and Trout is so big. I mean, they're going to do 1.5 million drills of playing in a base and staying in your base in pass pro and in run. Like he is so big on that. So it's
Landon, can I interrupt you real quick just to explain when you say lunging, does it mean they're getting pushed back in their stance a little bit so they're lunging forward and losing balance? What do you mean when you're saying lunging?
Yeah, so like generally, like you can just kind of see it in their head. So like when, for example, even in like pass pro, you'll see their whole body instead of just throwing this arm or just throwing these out. And my head stays in line. Trout calls it ramrod. Like he says, like I want to be able to stick a spear, hopefully not actually, like through your head, and it goes directly through your spine and like out your ass. Like that's what I want. And he's like, I want it all in a straight line, whether that's run or really pass. Like obviously gonna get a little more forward and run. But in both, you kind of just see this upper body lean at the waist. And that's something, like I said, I think I noticed that in Harris. Obviously, even Ugorji, even though he was in at Stanford, I noticed that with him. Harrison Moore, I think, is just I don't notice very many deficiencies in his game, if you want me to be honest. I was sitting here. My producer was like in here, and I'm over there in the other room, like screaming, watching his Georgia Tech take. It was just ridiculous. And so that was just a common theme overall with a lot of the guys. It's just, it was little things of like, hey, let's just clean up the fact that you're losing that base right there. It was actually, even though Fletcher Westphal didn't play last year, that was something I noticed on his 24 tape. He really lost a base in pass pro, and that was causing him some problems, even in his, it was only like 42 snaps or whatever, but that was allowing the defensive end to really kind of bend that edge because he couldn't widen the edge. So that's why I made a tweet that I'm like, Trout is the perfect man for the job, because it's not a talent issue. Like, you have absurd talent on this offensive line. You just need to get the technique and the small details just grinded into you. And that's what Trout does. Like, I'm telling you, like, walkthroughs, we'll be there Friday nights in the hotel, and you got walkthroughs. And a lot of teams, and I honestly, just how it looked, I assume this is how it was last year. When teams do walkthroughs, everybody just kind of stands up and walks through. You ain't going to do that with Trout. Good luck, because he's going to say, I want game day footwork. I want game day pad level. I want game day hands. Like obviously we're not going to be the full speed because we're walking through, but you're going to be in your polo and your pants, and you're going to be in your stance, and everything is going to be perfect. And if not, he's going to be barking at you. Like, he demands excellence. And I think that's why this is going to be such a great marriage, because no, I really do not believe it's a talent problem.
What kind of?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dan. I'll double down. What type of coach is he on the sideline? Like game day, right? What when you guys come to the sideline, say we're getting, whiffing, sacks is piling up. Is he a yeller, teacher, combination of both? What should we expect on the sideline on the whiteboard?
Dude, Trout does not really yell at all, which I really like personally. Like, and no matter what, so what he's going to have is he's going to have one of the young guys on the sideline. I did this my true freshman year until I started to play. He's going to have a young guy on the sideline that is going to be standing behind the signal caller or whoever, and he's going to be getting the plays. So he's going to write down the plays on just like a piece of paper, basically. So as soon as the guys come off the field, you hand that note to Trout, and it says play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And all the plays are listed, whatever, 34 trap, this, that. Like, he can just see. And so he can be like, oh, hey, right guard, what happened on play 3? I saw we got blown up on the back block right here on the nose tackle. Talk to me. Talk about what happened there. Now, a big upside is now that you do have the tablets on the sideline. So before, it was just the straight up whiteboard where he would be drawn on the whiteboard. And like I said, he was always calm. And he was always just, talk to me. Just talk to me. It was never like, what the hell is going on out there? Like, no, it was like, hey, come on, talk to me. Like, even after we had 2 back-to-back sacks, like whatever. All right, talk to me about what happened. And so I really always appreciated that. And it may give you kind of a calmness on the sideline. And it was like, cool, let's come up with a plan. Okay, a lot of times the defense will come out, and especially early on in the season, it's like, coach, they're doing XYZ. We did not see them, shift to the 5-man front on tape, or the linebackers are plugging really quick. All right, hey guys, center and guard, when we're on these combo blocks, you're not going to have to be as thick. You're going to have to be able to get off a lot quicker because these linebackers are plugging quick. Like, those are the type of conversations that he's having on the sidelines. And like I said, it's easier now because I think, the tablets weren't even allowed when I was playing. So it's only gotten easier for him to see things. But no, definitely not a yeller in any way, shape, or form. Like, even 2021, we went like 7-6. It was a bad year. And like every day, if things were down, it was more like he wants to have a talk, and he's going to try to like tap into you. And it got to the point where, like, after 2020 and 2021, like, it was not looking good. We went 4-5 and then 7-6. And like at Penn State, that's, you probably close to getting fired. And he would be honest. He'd be like, guys, look, like, we're at risk. Like, I'm at risk of losing my job. And like, I'm gonna have to go home and tell my kids, like, we're going to have to move again. And like, that's just a reality. And like, I just want you to understand, like, I appreciated so much the conversations he would have with us as adults. And it was never like, we're just like young players. Like, he treated you like a man. So like, I always appreciate that. And he always drove home, talking about, wanting to create great fathers, great husbands. Like, it's not just about ball. And I truly believe, like, I just got married a couple months ago. Like, I feel like he instilled so many different things in me that I do use in my day-to-day life and just kind of my grind and work ethic. So that all as a whole is kind of how he is as a coach.
I was wondering about that because, like, being out at practice and watching him, it's always like here. It's always here. And I'm used to I've been covering Florida since 2013, so I'm used to some yelling. And O-line coaches typically being some of the foulest mouths on a football field.
Sure.
No matter the age, they could have been 75 years old. I'm just like, oh my, he's still got some fire. But yeah, with Phil, it always seemed kind of like just how you explained. I was wondering if that changed during the season, and didn't expect you to date yourself pre-iPad. You were not an iPad kid or an iPad player.
No iPad kid, man. I'll tell you what. No, but he was he was really good. Another thing he was really good about too is he always wanted to talk to you. Like every team has a ton of film guys. Like not only that they're like working like get the practice film and like filming all that, but they put up film cut-ups for you. And the number one thing, and I even talked to the guys before at Penn State before he got there, and there was like no pregame prep. And it got to the point where every Monday, like we move on Sunday night and you kind of start to watch film on your own. You come in Monday and he would create these sheets for us where it was like, okay, top 3 moves by this edge rusher. Okay, his this is his go-to move on third down. This is what to expect when they slant the front. He always goes onto a cross chop, like all of this stuff. Like he would arm you with so many details. And it got to the point where he made you that detail-oriented, where I knew going into a game everything about the multiple guys that would line up across from me. And he just got so that's what I mean of like building a culture and how it takes a little bit of time to instill that process. Because at the beginning, a lot of guys were like, man, forget that. Like I ain't doing all that work. Like that's BS, like whatever. And it got to a point where you're like, I understand. Like I understand if I do want to be like, he had so many conversations with us about if we want to be great and what it takes to win the Joe Moore Award and like all those type of things. And it eventually, like you start to understand, and it helps when you start to get older too and become more of a veteran guy. But there's such an expectation and a level set of like, hey, here's where the expectations are in the room, and I'm just not going to accept anything below that.
Right. Got me fired up. I want to ask you. We kind of touched on his name, but we didn't really discuss much. And you just did a film breakdown on Egan Boyer, the transfer from Penn State. For those that didn't watch, give us kind of your thoughts on him, because I think a lot of people expected when he was going to come that he was maybe not a shoo-in for a starter, but maybe a name that would be a little bit higher on the depth chart than where we're hearing he is now. What are your thoughts, pros, cons on Egan Boyer?
Yeah, pros, extremely athletic, a guy that can move with the best of them. So I really like that. There's that versatility there. There's that getting out in the screen game. As much as everybody talks about Buster Faulkner and his gap scheme, which I'm going to do a full film breakdown on his gap scheme later this week. He actually runs a lot of outside zone, and that's where Harrison Moore thrives, by the way. But he's really good in outside zone when he's running. Has to cut off that 3 technique and be able to knife it vertical. Like really good in those situations. But overall, Egan Boyer kind of similar to what I was talking about with some of the other guys. It wasn't as much. It was a technique issue, but he was also like in Clemson. He didn't really play too much throughout the season, but he started the Clemson bowl game. And because he was a little bit lighter, you could see throughout the game, like he was throwing these punches and they just weren't stopping the defensive end, and he was getting bull rushed. And so he started to just like lean and throw his entire body. And you saw the upper body lean. And naturally, when you do that, you kind of drop your back foot. So not only are you leaning, you're giving a soft edge where that defensive end wants to just go rip move and really bend that edge. You're just giving that to him. So that was what I started to see. So like overall as pass pro, definitely struggled against Clemson. And I think some people look and say, hey, Clemson had like an all-American defensive line across the board. It sounds good until you realize that most of those guys opted out. I think it was their entire second-string D-line that played that game. So he definitely struggled from what I saw in that game when I was breaking it down. But overall, his athleticism is a big piece of what shines.
And I think they're poor kid. He's played right guard, left tackle, and right tackle all throughout spring and summer. But I think at left tackle, it will either be him or Emeka, and we're probably still trying. The only positions I know of that I think are locked in on the line are Najee Harris at left guard, who's going into his 4th year, true senior, and then Harrison Moore at center. So there's still room to be won across the board there. But yeah, I think it'll either be Egan or Emeka at left tackle.
Yeah, I think I think that's the spot you're gonna look at if you're a Gators fan this year and be like, anybody that like ever watches me, and I'm sure like you guys ever like you'll get to know, like I am always very honest. I don't come on. I'm not saying all these positive things about Trout just because I want it to sound good. Like I say what I believe, and I believe that like I am a little bit worried about Emeka out there. I'm a little bit worried about Egan Boyer. Like that is going to be something I'm going to be watching week 1, week 2 when I turn on the Florida Gator tape and I watch that offense. I want to say, hey, how's that left tackle faring? How are they looking? And especially if we get into a situation where maybe Trout says, hey, yeah, we're going to probably play like 7 or 8 guys. If you hear that, that probably means that there might be a left tackle rotation and there very well could be a right guard rotation. So that's all stuff. I'm definitely curious to see how it pans out and how quickly Trout can really get that shored up.
Yeah, I've said it on our show. I've forgotten about the tight end room, but the offensive line is the offensive position group I'm most concerned about, have the most questions about heading into this year. I get it, though. You lose 4 starters from last year, including an All-American center. But sounds like from your tape watching that they have found another center.
Oh, yeah, you guys are going to love Harrison more. I mean, I'll tell you what, I bet that when Buster said, he was like, I'm coming, he was like, there's no way this kid's not coming with me, because everything that he wants to do, of the 3 main things, and a lot of people don't think about this, like everybody on the gap scheme runs thinks about the puller, which the puller is very important, don't get me wrong, but the center on the back block that doesn't allow any penetration is uber important, because you start having those back blocks that just get dented back into the play side and it blows the entire play up. Very, very few times that I ever see him get dented back with how much Buster Faulkner loves the screen game. That's a great switch up and getting his big boys in space. That's a place where Moore thrives. And then, like I said, the outside zone game, you're going to see him reach these 3 techniques where he just turns and runs and just goes. And it's just like, it's just so pretty. That's the type of stuff. It gets me a little giddy watching all line play like that. So you're going to fall in love with the center position this year with Harrison Moore.
Jordan's used to getting caught from behind when the back block wasn't set.
No. That back block ain't set. Sometimes it'll change your trajectory a little bit. You probably can't even get to your puller 9 times out of 10. You might got to take a different route. So I agree with him. That is extremely important when it comes to gap schemes, because, I mean, that can go from a 15 to 20-yard explosive to just a 5-yard gain. You couldn't even follow your puller and the play couldn't get started.
We've got a question from the crowd here. What line position would you consider the most difficult to play?
Oh, I mean, it's either left tackle or center. It's kind of pick your poison. I mean, generally, I feel like center, the whole idea of like having to snap and move is difficult, but most of the time you're in a good position because you don't have a nose. Now, if you're playing, I think it depends on the front. I'll say that. If you are a left tackle and you have to play a wide 9, you're playing Miami with Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor, tackle's the hardest. Now, if you're playing center and you have a absolute dog of a nose tackle lined up this close to you and your nose is almost touching, and you better do it. You better get
smell pregame meal.
Right. He's smelling off his breath. It's in your face. That's harder. So I would say those 2 positions, and really you can say right tackle, whichever one, but it's tackle or center. And I think it mainly depends on the defense that you're facing. Because if you're center and you're uncovered and you're playing a 4-down front, you snap, but you got a lot of space still. And there's a lot of times in pass pro where you're going to be uncovered and you kind of just get the help. So that would be my biggest thing. It's center or tackle, but it depends on the look on the front.
Sometimes you get those 280-pound track stars who like the line 9 yards off of you, and you're just like, where is my guy? Where is he? Oh, he's coming from the sideline. Cool.
It gets real lonely out there when you're one-on-one with a wide 9 who's a speed demon and can turn speed to power. Oh boy, that's nightmare fuel right there.
For real, you better hope a running back couldn't give you a little chip or something. Slow him down for a second.
To wrap up, Landon, I want to give you an opportunity to plug your show. I got the chance to listen to it a bit this afternoon when we confirmed up with you. But a great show, and obviously you're super knowledgeable, and you have a great voice for radio and for podcasting. But like you got it.
And you'll find out. The Florida fan base might hit a little differently. As you start going through these fan bases with film reviews, you might find out once you get into the Gator Twitter sphere that the views start picking up a little bit this week.
I'm excited.
Fans.
I'm excited to get acquainted. So yeah, over on the Landon Tengwall show, you can find me on YouTube or just Landon Tengwall on Twitter. I'm gonna do a lot of like film cut-ups. If you're just interested in like college football pregame, but also like postgame, I'm gonna watch so many different games, especially like the battles in the trenches. I'm gonna do all that. But this coming week, tomorrow, it's probably gonna be like a 40-minute film breakdown on 6 guys. It's gonna be basically, and the guys that I don't do, like Egan Boyer, I still have another film cut up of him to do on Twitter. And then Westfall, I'm also gonna do a cut up from 2024. So like as a whole, I'm gonna cover basically everybody, but we'll have the 6 guys that are kind of battling it out there for the offensive line. And then so that'll be a in-depth. We'll probably spend like 8 to 10 minutes on each guy. And then I'm going to do a full quarterback film breakdown. I think it's really, I mean, you could say, I don't know, I think Alabama might have a real quarterback battle, but this is down in Gainesville is one of the few true quarterback battles. So I'm really excited. I'm actually starting that tape kind of tomorrow morning-ish. So I'm going to do a full film breakdown on that, and then I'm going to do a full film breakdown on Buster Faulkner's gap scheme runs. And I'm going to also kind of dive into how it might be a little bit different, because obviously when you don't have Haynes King, he catered that offense towards him. So I'm looking to how that's going to be a little bit different. But we'll have 3 more full film breakdowns on this Florida Gators team, and who knows, probably even more to come, and especially more like little 1.5-minute film breakdowns on my Twitter too.
So you just got married and you told your wife, sorry, it's football season. I'll see you in January.
Correct. You're damn right I did. And I can't wait. When that first Sunday morning, whatever, is it September 5th, that Sunday morning, I can't wait. When all that film hits my laptop, I don't even know where I'm going to go first, but I'm just excited to watch some trench play.
I love that.
Go nowhere. You're going to be on the couch.
You're right.
Well, Landon, man, it was an absolute pleasure. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media.
Yep. You can find me the Landon Tengwall Show on YouTube, and then Landon Tengwall, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. Like I said, we'll have a lot of short form content all year. But yeah, follow me on YouTube. We'll definitely have a lot more Florida Gators content coming at you guys.
Yeah, go check out his Twitter. I think we should call it Twitter. He also did a nice film review on Jayden Ball, who I'm sure was fun to watch. And as a guy that watches a lot of running backs and protects for him, we appreciate that as well, man. But incredible content. We're looking forward to having you back on in the future, and then certainly congratulations on getting married, and good luck this upcoming season.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely, thank you so much, Landon.
Thank
you. Man, oh man. That was great.
Oh man, I had a good joke that I said. That's why I didn't hit. I was muted, man. Amateur over here. Yeah, we got to lock him in for the season.
Yeah. He's incredible. No, great guest. We appreciate him for joining the show today. The way
also for the Tuesday people, the podcast people, you never know what kind of audio you're going to get when you bring a guest on. Elite.
Dude,
elite audio.
Green screen, microphone, producer.
She's probably better than mine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was.
Yeah.
No, you're on point today. You're on point today. He was. If he would have showed up like previously, he would have had you, dog. But you saw it today.
No, that was great. So, are we still waiting on Mark? Is Mark?
Yeah, I should be on the way now. I told him to wait a few because he was kind of running a little bit over. But
I was gonna say, let Mark know I will change my greatest number 37 in Florida history quickly if he no shows tonight.
Right.
It'll take me a little while to find another one, but I will.
We got some jewels, which I guess is a new YouTube thing to donate money. So we appreciate 10 jewels, a gold coin. Appreciate that.
I'm like, what is jewels? Maybe
is that real? Is that Munyon? Is that YouTube Munyon?
Yeah, YouTube money. I don't know. I've never seen them before. So
how do we spend it? Does it work at stores?
I don't think so. I think it's like Bitcoin.
So it only goes down.
Can't do anything.
I would take down.
If it's like Bitcoin, I would take it. I'll take all 10.
Man. Here's going back. Meadow Roof Quoter 633 said he thinks Kyle Trask and Rex Grossman should be potential Ring of Honor. I'm online with maybe Rex Grossman being close, but I still I don't know. They're both great, but I just I don't know.
I was beating the drum for Kyle Trask, beating the table, saying he was better than Felipe Franks. He should be starting over Felipe Franks. It was a fun season. That team went 8-4. Like, what are we talking about in the Ring of Honor? What are we talking about? That 2020 was a very fun season. The offense
Tim Tebow won the Heisman Trophy in a year that they went 9-4.
And he won the Heisman.
Yeah, no, I know.
Stop a nosebleed that 2020 year though.
I get it.
And
But I'm saying I just
schedule.
don't like your excuse about
What
why.
are we talking about?
That you said
one
that
year.
Cal went 8-4. I'm like, Tim Tebow went 9-4 and won the Heisman.
Well, 8-4 is better than one game better than 9-4.
They didn't play enough games that year, Nick. Do you remember? COVID-19.
I went to every game. I was there. I was all of them.
Real quick, what do you guys think about the?
Go ahead, Corey. You're going to keep the show on track. Nick's.
No, all good. I just want to. We got some time before Mark comes, right? So,
Yeah,
what do you guys think about that rule, that the eligibility that was given to the 2022 kids? I wish we could find an old lineman that kind of went pro that we could bring back real quick.
Yeah, your options.
It's like a portal kind of, right?
Like Damian George. No, Damian George is like a 6-year.
Whoa.
Yeah. So there's no portal. You would have had to have graduated, still had your 5th year, and like not gotten drafted. So like the pool would be like Cam Waits, who, shout out to Cam Waits, went through the police academy, is now a police officer. So like Officer Waits would be like your option to come back. There's no, I guess you could have gone into the portal and gone undrafted.
I hope he's a street cop and not like in the jail, because
like, yeah. So
can't
like
guard.
people were asking me that right when it happened. And I was like, I mean, we don't have any clarification. And then the NCAA asked that judge to clarify. She's like, no, not like willy-nilly season. Yeah. So like, they didn't open the shop. The mall is still closed.
Yeah, and it's a temporary injunction for the class of 2022. They did issue another ruling, kind of like what Nick was alluding to. I don't think you outright said it, but it doesn't allow for you to have that extra year and then transfer. It only be applicable for those that enter the transfer portal. It's not just for basketball, although it is highly related to basketball. So we'll see what ultimately,
just timeline wise, it'd
be really, really hard to get somebody in school when it starts. Practice starts this week. It'd be really, really difficult. No matter how good you even were, it'd be really, really difficult for you to be back in game shape and expecting to play.
Game shape. I hope they would be out of it if they just love football.
I guess. But think about that. We can touch on that subject after we welcome Mark Herndon to the show. But let's give a quick shout out to our friends over at Alumni Hall. Go visit alumnihall.com or go visit them in Gainesville on Archer Road. They have the largest selection of Florida Gators apparel in all of the state of Florida and in the city of Gainesville. So go visit alumnihall.com or go visit them in Gainesville right on Archer Road. And with that, we welcome everybody's favorite number 37 to ever don the orange and blue, Mark Herndon, to the show. Mark, it's a pleasure to have you on, brother.
Nice to be here. Sorry I had a long day, but excited.
There's only 100 numbers now that they've added 0. And to be able to say you are the greatest player to ever wear a number at Florida, only 100 people can say that. I think you might hold it down for 37.
Shoot, there was I think there was a guy after me and a couple before me. I'm blanking on his name, but there was a walk-on that had number 37 before I did. And
if you blank on his name, then he's not better than you, which means he's behind you on the list.
Yeah, that's not true. He definitely was a really good player. I'm just blanking on his name because of my memory.
All we know is you, Mark.
I might have.
Yeah, Mark. The only name that I saw
take it, bro. Wrong with
was a couple of punters that wore number 37. Hunter Bowen from 1970. Bruce Starling from 1962. Kerry Geiger, who's a running back in the 70s, and then you're listed as another notable number. And as far
in the Ring of Honor, bro.
Like,
low key,
you're it.
Mark, what up, man?
You're the greatest 37 ever, bro.
Mark, when you get your flowers, accept your flowers. You're not taking them back.
I'll take it.
Oh, perfect. All right, Mark, let's talk about your story. Originally from Ocala, I believe, correct?
Yeah, I'm actually, what's funny is I just came back from overseas. I'm in Ocala right now. in my hometown. Yeah, and,
awesome,
and where it all started. So, but yeah, I mean, you want me to get right into it, or did you have some questions?
Talk to us a little bit about your story.
Shoot, it's an interesting one. I mean, if you're a real Gator fan, then you know how I started my career at the University of Florida. But I guess we can go back a little bit further before I went to Florida. So I'm from Ocala. Well, I say I'm from Ocala, but if anybody watching this goes down the rabbit hole, I'm really from a town called Bellevue, Florida.
Okay.
So it's south of Ocala.
Yeah.
So like, and Ocala is already small. Like, not many people know of Ocala, right? Unless you're a true Floridian. But outside of the state of Florida, you probably don't know Ocala. So then if you don't know Ocala, you definitely don't know Bellevue, because Bellevue's like south of Ocala is super small. One high school, one elementary school. And once you drive in it, you drive for like 2 or 3 minutes, you're already outside of Bellevue. So that's we just claim.
It's like Jake Slaughter. He's from Spar, Florida, and no one knows what Spar
my uncle's is. From Citra. You can throw a football from one end of Citra to the other.
I played against Citra.
Yeah,
in high school, so I know them very well. But yeah, so I'm from Bellevue. Started my career there. Actually played for the Rattlers, the Bellevue Rattlers, in Bellevue High School for my freshman year, and then from there. Like, I just kind of saw my older cousins and some other players not getting recruited at all at Bellevue. Like, I think I was the only one. I actually had a recruiter from the University of Florida come scout me while I was a freshman at Bellevue. I was pretty good as a freshman there, and I played a bit of varsity towards the end of the year, and I think that's how they saw me. And I just wasn't seeing anybody get any offers. And the coach at the time, he was holding my cousin's letters. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to play for this guy. And so I started looking into other schools to go to. And if you're familiar with Ocala, then you probably know Trinity Catholic or Ocala Forest, Vanguard, some of the more notable schools. And I was looking at all 3 of those. And, back then, I don't know how they do it now, but back then, like, you had to go to the school where you lived, the district that you lived in. I don't know if the kids can like go to any school in their city now, but you had to go to the school where you lived. And I was going to transfer, and the high school coach that I was at, the coach at school that I was at currently, Bellevue, he found out that I was going to leave. So he went and did everything he possibly could to make sure that I did not leave the Bellevue High School. And I even saw him come in front of my house at the time to see if I actually lived at the address that we registered to go to my new school, which was Forest. And what he didn't know is I was actually lying about where we lived so that I could go to Bellevue. And so I actually used my real address to go to Forest, and eventually went over there, was a nobody in a big pond. Forest it was Division 7A of high, so we're the biggest of big schools in the state of Florida. I think what we now have 8A or 9A. I don't know. It's way bigger than what it was before, but we're the biggest division. And it was like 100 people on the football roster. So I'm coming from a school where we had 30 people on the team, to now I'm standing on the sideline. It's an army. So I'm just one of many, not knowing what was going to happen. Just saw like a lot of players were getting recruited over there. And at that time, it was the school that you went to is kind of determined if you were going to make it into college or not. Like, if your high school coach was friends or buddies with some of the other coaches, and it was just harder to get film out back then. So I ended up going to Forest, played there my sophomore year. Wasn't really that notable. Then my junior year came, and I think I was like one of the top running backs in the state. My junior year, I think I had like 1,500 yards, maybe like 10 or 11 touchdowns. Not that many, but I did something notable enough to be recognized. And then my senior year is when I had like a breakout season. I had a couple small offers from some smaller Division II schools. One was Lindenwood University in Missouri. And then I got some like late offers from some smaller smaller Division I schools at the time. Like USF wasn't that big at the time. I had them. And then it wasn't Fresno, some school in California. But I was about to commit to Lindenwood because at the time it was like I would have been a shoe-in for the starting position to come there and just rip it up. And Lynn was not a horrible school. If you know about it, it's not the worst school to go to at that time. Now I think it's better. But when I was about to commit, there's a guy here that his name is Stan Salzer. And if you're in Ocala, then you probably know Salzer Construction. He was my high school coach and my position coach. And he was pissed because I was one of the best running backs in the state at the time. And he could not figure out why I didn't get an offer from like one of the bigger schools. And he calls Coach Brian White at the University of Florida. It was like 3 a.m. Coach Salzer is like piss drunk. Calls him at like 3 a.m. in the morning, middle of the night. This is a college coach. You know, if you have Florida, you know Coach Brian White. So he calls Coach Brian White. Actually picks up at 3 a.m. He's like, "Hey, is everything okay?" And Coach Stalzer, my coach, standing outside in front of a bonfire. And he's like, "Hey, man, I'm not the brightest man in the world, but you have one of the best running backs in the state, 30 minutes from your school and nothing." And Coach White was like, "You know what? Let me give you a call back in the morning." And then that morning he calls him back. He's like, "Look, I tried my best. We can't give him a scholarship, but we can give him a preferred walk-on position." And so Coach Salzer calls me excited. I don't even know what a walk-on is. None of my family members went to college. So like, I'm just like, I get to go to Florida? Yeah, sign me up. Not knowing that was going to be like, if you're a walk-on, probably before, I would say like 2015, it was brutal. Like
they couldn't even feed you, right?
So you get where I'm going with this. It's like they changed it. It was like after my freshman year, they changed the rules because there was so many walk-ons. You had that dude from Texas Tech, the quarterback. He playing NFL now. He went to Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield. He was from my year, and he was ripping it up as a walk-on and just doing crazy, like crazy things. And like they started changing the rules. And at the time, so my freshman year, we couldn't even go in the players' lounge where the video games and the snacks, we couldn't even, like, we could go in there, but if they caught us eating the food, oh my God, you was in trouble, Right. And I don't even know if I'll get the University of Florida in trouble for saying some stuff, but my freshman year, the nutritionist had to sneak me some food sometimes. Like, because as a true freshman walk-on, I was playing and I was starting on all special teams, and so I'm traveling with the team and they can't feed me. Like, that's crazy, So the nutritionist would bring me food. Sometimes some of my other teammates would bring me food from the training table and whatnot, because I was starving, especially during camp, right? Because camp, I can't go to the training table. I have to feed myself. And that's like that. I don't know if you've ever been through a college camp. It's 2 days. And honestly, it feels like 4 days because
they don't even let them do 2 days anymore.
Like, it's insane. And I'm eating. I think during camp you can eat before practice, or I forgot how it is. All I remember is after practice I couldn't eat with the team. That's all I remember. And I'm in camp, so I'm going from there straight back to the hotel or whatever. It was just brutal, and that was like majority of freshman year. I got to travel my freshman year, starting on special teams, and then I think I got in at running back a couple times. One was against Missouri when we had like some crazy offense that coach, I think it was Brent Pease.
Offensive coordinator Brent Pease.
Yeah,
from Boise State.
So that's a little throwback. But yeah, Brent Pease was running some. I think he was from Washington. He was running some like shotgun wishbone. I don't know, something crazy. But he had Trey Burton in the backfield and me right next to him. What you say?
I think he was from Boise.
Oh, he might have been from Boise. I don't remember.
Boise State.
Boise.
Okay. Yeah, I remember he came from somewhere in the West, but he was running some type of offense. So I got to start on all special teams, and I got to hop in at running back every now and then when Trey Burton was at quarterback. But that was like my freshman year was crazy because Coach Muschamp, one of the first things that he tells walk-ons is like, you got to earn it. It takes about 2 years. You don't get a scholarship until your junior or maybe senior year, if you're, not if you're lucky, but if you work hard enough. And some don't know, but I think Coach Muschamp actually started his career as a walk-on as well. So that's a little tidbit for, some of you Gator fans. And so he has a special, like he holds a special place in his heart for walk-ons. And I'm like, I did kind of feel like when he got to know me, he treated me a little bit different and he saw how hard I worked and whatnot. And come the end of my freshman year, we're in spring camp. And it's like, this is one of the most emotional times. We're in spring camp. I think Jordan, you're on the team by then, right? Or no, you weren't. No, you weren't. You didn't come until my junior year. So it was KT. So my bad. I'm thinking of Kelvin Taylor. So Kelvin just got in for spring. So he's now a freshman during the spring training camp. And at the end of camp, Coach Muschamp's like, oh, I'm going to reward 2 walk-ons. I do this every year, and I'm going to reward 2 walk-ons with a scholarship. And, like, I'm not even thinking to myself, I'm a freshman, and he's like, you don't get this until your junior or senior year. And he's like, hey, look, like, this guy works extremely hard, like, never jogging, always running to the ball, screaming, running around on the field with his head, like his head's on fire. One of the best special teams players we had. And at the time, you know who I'm talking about too. Mike McNeely was just a crazy good walk-on in scouts special teams player. And Jordan, I'm pretty sure you got to play with him a bit. I think it was Mike's like senior year. You were just getting in.
Maybe I think he left. I remember that's somebody. Boy, that's who did the fake field goal against.
Yeah,
Georgia.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes,
the best bagger at Publix.
Exactly. And that's a whole nother story. Mike's career is crazy as well. But I'm like, there's no way I get a scholarship over Mike McNeely and like several other guys I could like think of on the top of my mind. So I'm just sitting there like, I'm gonna get ready to clap. And then he says my name. And so I'm clapping, like, yay. And they like, Mark, that's you. What? Wait a minute. That moment was like, that was one of the craziest moments of my like life because of how hard my freshman year was. It just helped it come full circle. And the things that I'm not going to speak on everything that we went through as a family and just me as a college student, but like trying to pay for things and whatnot, as coming from like I'm not a wealthy family, but we weren't living on the streets, but we didn't have the money to afford for me to go to school. And so we were just coming up with things for me to pay for books and the dorms and whatnot. And so when I heard that, all I could think of is like, dang, like I can eat. Like, I can, like it sounds so simple, but like that meant the world to me, like, it made me think of all the late nights I was talking to my mom on the phone my freshman year, like I don't know how I'm going to pay for this, or I don't know how I'm going to eat tomorrow, I had a whole I'm like remembering it vividly now. I had a whole one of them big stacks of instant ramen noodles from Walmart sitting on my wall by my bed in my dorm room, and that was like all I was like eating at the time. And that was a whole story. If you go on YouTube, I think I talked about it when they interviewed.
You living like a JUCO player at UF, bro. That's crazy. You sound like my
for real. But that's how it was for walk-ons at that time. And I came in at the time when Herb had just left and Muschamp was just coming in. So we still were doing the craziness, like the crazy stuff that era was doing. The Tim Tebow, we were just coming off of that, like turning, like the weight training and everything was just kind of changing a bit when Muschamp came in. But I caught the tail end of that, and that wasn't, like it was good for me, but it wasn't fun at all training like that. But yeah, you can kind of imagine how it was to, just from what I tried to describe, how it was to be a walk-on at that time. But getting earning my scholarship my freshman year that spring, I didn't think as many guys that was happy for me would be happy for me. Like, it was people that I didn't like I thought hated me because my freshman year I would torch the defense on scout team O, and it's like Sharif Floyd. I was telling Jordan earlier, like Sharif Floyd, Dominique Easley, Mike T.
Killers on that 10, 11, 12 defense. Just killers.
And God bless his soul. You know, God rest his soul. Ronald Powell. Dang, I got a funny story about he's a defensive end, number 34. He's from Ocala. Lorente McCray. I got a funny, but Lorente, I didn't like as a freshman. These are all juniors, and seniors. So like, you don't really talk to them much at that time. Like freshmen didn't. I mean, we all intermingle, but you kind of like just talk with your class, your recruiting class. And so these guys, I didn't really know them, but that when I received my scholarship, all of them came up to me and was like just so happy for me, and it was just so much different after I earned it. I think I just earned a lot of the players' respect, you know, after that, because they only knew me as the kid in practice. Just I would never give up. I would always go hard on every play. You know how like it gets out there where, you know, it's middle of camp and you like, bro, like just chill for this one. Like I'm not trying to go hard. I'm tired. I was like, F it. Hey, look, the players knew back then, if you lined up in front of me, it didn't matter if it was the 1,000th rep. You was going. The
rep is on.
Oh, you was going. I didn't care who you was. I didn't care who you was. I don't care if you was my best friend. And you know who I learned that from. And I got that attitude from, and Guy rest his soul too, is Chris Johnson, Juice. Like Juice is from Ocala, and he kind of instilled that in me. He was like, "Look, you coming in as a walk-on, buddy. Like these people ain't gonna show you no respect. I don't care what they say. Go hard every play. When you get on there in special teams, like if you want to like make the team this year, if you want to travel with the team, your route is special teams. They not finna let you play running back, buddy. Like just get it in your head now. Go down there and wreck some junk." And Chris was one of the first people I wrecked. You know, I'm like, that was like my best friend at the time, and I had to run down on kickoff while he was on kickoff return and light him up. But yeah, that was that's like the journey into Florida. And I mean, there's a lot after that as well. Like my career at Florida was kind of up and down with me at running back, but I pretty much stayed solid on special teams, was like special teams captain a lot of the times. And after Florida, I had an opportunity to play or go to Cleveland. I was at Cleveland for training camp and whatnot, and then got let go from them, and then tried the Canadian League with Saskatchewan. That's another story for another day, but Canadian League is crazy. At that time, it's crazy.
Jordan played in it too.
I was about to say, even just how the football is played. Like I never was
not
like
the game you played.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I feel like as a running back, I never really did like a lot of pre-snap motions and shifts. Like the teams I was on, oh my God, you shifting and motioning every play. Like I'm like, bro, what is this? Like rugby or something? Like what's going on out here? Like it just wasn't normal. Yeah, you definitely just gotta get used to it.
You gotta be in shape.
Extra dudes on the field. We got an extra body on the field a little bit tighter. I'm like, you know what? The inside zone don't read the same way no more because it's like, shoot, I got an extra dude right there. You can't just cut back because
no. Let me ask you this question: with the way college football is now, with the transfer portal, it's actually two questions. With the way the transfer portal is right now, if this same type of flexibility to be able to switch programs, is that something you would have done? And also, regardless of the transfer portal, did maybe graduating early and getting that graduate transfer year cross your mind? With, you know, I thought you were a very talented running back, and I thought you could play at maybe some, you know, Marylands of the world, Dukes of the world, Vanderbilts, like all those type of programs. I think you would have, NC State, Wake Forest. Yeah. Like, did that cross your mind?
Honestly, it did. I had an opportunity to go to the Zips. What's that school? Akron. Zips. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I had an opportunity to go
from Ocala, Florida, about to go up to Akron, Ohio. They were trying to get you on a visit in the summer, is what they were trying to do, and then you'd be up there in January, not knowing what was going on.
So So my sophomore year, going into my junior season, or was it? I don't know if it was my junior season. I think it was the year after I tore my ACL. So going into my redshirt junior season, this is when this guy right here was
coming out my freshman year. Yeah,
this is when Jordan Scarlett, Concrite, and then we got one more that spring, Mark Thompson. But
Mark Thompson came in looking like an NFL linebacker.
Bruh, I thought Matt Jones was big. Nobody, not when Mark Thompson came, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, he had the whole running back room shook. We was like, oh my god,
definitely had me spooked.
He had the Gator fan base shook last year.
Wait, what happened? What happened? We ain't gotta talk about it. We talk about it later.
Yeah,
for sure.
Mark didn't like the reporting I was doing on what he was doing either, so we can talk about it offline.
Oh dang. Nah, I already know I'm gonna hear it, but yeah, no, he was talented. Dang, y'all done threw me off. I forgot what I was talking about.
It's Akron, Zips.
Oh yeah, so Akron, I had an opportunity to go there. And to answer your question, yes, I heavily considered it, but like I ain't gonna lie, man. Like I just bled orange and blue. I didn't want to leave. I didn't care how hard it was or how hard how talented our backfield was. And I did want to play. And I'll just put it this way. I think, and maybe, this might be a hot take. I think if Muschamp would have stayed, my career at Florida would have been different. Mm-hmm. If Muschamp never got fired because he got to know me, he loved me in the end. And I think he had plans for me because towards the end of that season, like I was getting more reps and this, that, and the other. And I know, like, sometimes they do that because they got other people leaving and they might be bringing in more people. But I genuinely believe, because even after Muschamp left, I had conversations with him and he was like, man, like, you're a really good player. And he had he pulled me off when we played South Carolina, and he was a coach over there, and he put me off to the side and was just saying like I had really high hopes for you and whatnot. And I genuinely believed he meant it. And I think if he stayed at the University of Florida, my career would have been different. And so it gave me hope. Like even though he was leaving, I was like, I just felt confident about my skills and my ability. But I did consider it, to answer your question, Corey. Like I did consider going to another school many times, but I ended up staying just because I loved it. I was close to family, and I didn't want to be far away from home at the time too. So,
right.
Yeah.
So, but say, take me back a little bit. If you did take a visit, how was your visit like? I know you really
shoot.
So maybe you had a couple times where you was able to come on the campus and have some fun. So,
man, look, I live 30 minutes from the school. I was in Gainesville anytime I had a chance. So I knew the players.
Hold on. How are you driving that Ocala's 30 minutes? Sometimes it takes damn near 30 minutes when you get on the highway in Ocala.
Hey, look, if you taking 441 straight up, I'm gonna just say I don't know how it is now because I haven't been back home in a while. But there ain't no police on 441 going straight up to Gainesville.
Okay.
You just put your foot on the pedal and just go. So I'm there. I'm from Ocala to Gainesville in like 30. If it took longer than that, then I had somebody else in the car with me. But nah, like if you from Ocala and you going to Gainesville, you probably getting there in like 30, 35. If you know 441 like that, you know where to stop and where to slow down, But majority of the way, with many cops. I think my drives, even after college from Gainesville to Ocala, like I think I got pulled over one time. So, and that's in like 6 years, So,
right.
But to answer your question, Jordan, man, because I live so close, I got to go a lot. But I did go when like the recruits did their official visit. Mm-hmm. Even though I was gonna be I was as a preferred walk-on, I did come and like tour and do all the cool stuff. But Juice was my host. So
I can only imagine.
Oh no, bro! Like Juice was hot at that time.
Who was Juice?
Like, Chris Johnson, number 32.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He was breakout special teams player that year. He was also a running back / safety. He was a safety, and then they moved him over to running back. But Juice was my host, and because he was from Ocala, so they had him host me. And I mean, I don't know how explicit. See, I'm trying to tell you.
I just don't know the way. I just don't know the way.
I'm trying to tell you, but I don't know how explicit I can get on here, but we won't go into detail. But I had a fun time. I had a very fun time. And what I also didn't know, and what they don't tell you, is that the girls you meet on your visit don't really they don't really be around like that. So like it's like they hire some of the world's top models.
Whoa, Mark, relax.
Mark, this is no anti-recruiting tip here, Mark.
No. Look,
here,
Mark ain't lying about that one. They get there.
2012.
Like he got game for real.
No, look, 2012. I don't know who, because I never seen them girls again.
He said he never seen them girls again.
They must have been seniors. Nice girls graduated.
Nah, man. I don't even think. Well, look, if I'm being honest with you, if I'm being real with you, I don't even think they went to the University of Florida. I think they literally flew some people in.
Oh man,
flew some people in to like help tour us. You know, like make us think, oh, this is what it's like. You know, like
recruiters recruit.
I'm in trouble.
Champ is in.
I'm in trouble right now because my girlfriend is standing right in front of me.
Well, they weren't there, so she can't get mad. They were gone.
Yeah. It's the truth. And this is what happened. But I don't even remember seeing not one of them again. But I do honestly feel like they just find people from around the U.S. or around the world. They just bring them in and have them. They
old fly out.
Yeah, they script them and they have them. For you,
they all fly out.
Man, I'm telling you, because the stuff that I was getting, I was a walk on. They didn't know this though. You know, they're not telling them that I'm
just run a similar program. Man.
They treated me as they treated the scholarship players. So I'm getting told, you know, like they saying all this craziness and stuff, and I'm like, wow, like this is how it is here. Wow. I think there was only one girl that was still there when I came, but that was only because she was in the trainer program. Like she was going to school to be one of the athletic trainers. So she was still in our locker room and the athletic room. No,
two different rooms there, Mark. Too big.
No. This is a family show, man.
The family show. Mark, you've been doing good.
Rooms allegations, and one of those rooms is she's getting her degree and getting some practice.
Yeah, her degree in the locker room. We heard
very different rooms, Mark.
The training room. But man, look, that was and as I said, I was a walk on, and I got treated amazing. You know, I felt like I was Marcus May at that time. Y'all know how heavily recruited he was. Like Marcus.
I got a funny story about Marcus May, man. I was who I can't remember. Oh, I was going to a mod at the time. Shout out to mod. I pulled up. Marcus May pulled up. This is a game night, Saturday night. And Marcus May pulled us up in a Tahoe. Gets out of the car. 3-4 young ladies hop out of the car with him going to his apartment. I was just like, yeah, Marcus May is. He wasn't even starting yet. So Marcus May is
a fly out.
Look,
well, here's the story. You might be able to go ahead. Mine's actual football story. I don't feel like that's the road we're on right now. So you go ahead.
Oh no, I was just confirming what he was saying. Like our freshman year, Marcus was like the guy.
Hold on. He's married now. I think has children now. So
hey man, these are old stories.
Let's be respectful.
Yeah,
these are old stories.
Sorry.
I would like to say
I'm not saying
the last week.
I'm not saying that he was getting around like that. I'm just saying like a lot of people like he got a lot of love like from the staff. Marcus he got a lot of love. Him, and then I'm trying to remember who else. I think what's the name came in my class too. The defensive end, number 6.
Fowler, Dante.
Yeah, Dante came in at my time, and he was another one of those guys. Dante, I don't know, Jordan. I don't know how it felt for you, but Dante always felt like a big kid, right?
He's still a big kid.
Dante's a child. Yes, a child.
Sure.
Yes.
It ain't changed.
He just felt like I was like, man, this is a grown
Good
man,
energy,
but like.
man.
Don't get me wrong, like he is a grown man and he take care of what he got to, but like when you around him, the energy, you just feel like you're around like a kid that's just like in a play store. Like
yes, man. Always.
So I heard a story. It was your sophomore year, so 13 down at Miami. Marcus May bit on some play fake against Miami, and then he was on a milk carton the rest of the year. And the story that I was told is that Muschamp drilled it all week in practice. Hey, they're going to do this. They're going to do this fake. And one of you idiots is going to get caught with your eyes in the backfield. And it just happened to be Marcus May. It turns either into a touchdown or a big play. And then everyone, the rest of the year, I'm getting asked, where's Marcus May? I'm like, I mean, he's on the sideline. He's there. He's in uniform. Couldn't tell you. But the story I got was Muschamp said all week in practice, this is going to happen. And one of you guys is going to fall for it, and it just happened to Marcus May, and then he was on a milk carton the rest of the year.
That sound like Champ. You was done.
Champ held those defenses, especially the safeties, at a different standard for sure.
That was his position.
Because that was his position. But like he was a little bit softer on the offense than he was with our defense. Like if you made a mistake on defense, like you was held to a different type of standard. But on offense, like he had a little bit more leeway. Like I'm not saying that we made many mistakes, but like he wouldn't jump on you as quick as he was.
Champ, y'all made a lot of mistakes, bro. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Mark,
bro.
we were just talking about all the killers on defense during those years, and the coach got fired.
I'm just saying. Hey, so what was it like scoring in the swamp? You got that touchdown from Trayon Harris, was like 78 yards, something crazy. But what was it like scoring a touchdown in the swamp coming from a kid that's a local guy?
I mean, it's a dream come true. Like, I didn't think my first touchdown would be like that. You know how, I don't know if you who all here played on offense, but you know how like as a kid you grow up and you like can't wait for the time where you playing in the league or college and you looking at yourself on the jumbotron, like running. And I used to always wonder why like guys were like looking ahead, then looking at jumbotron, looking ahead, then looking at jumbotron, until like I was put in that moment where I'm running down the field and it's like a safety and somebody else, like I had to like make a miss. And then I'm looking, I didn't want to look back. So in that moment, that split second, it was the first time I ever thought this. I was like, I'm gonna just look at the jumbotron to see where they're out in the field, so I know where I need to run away from. And so it's like, yeah, like I'm pretty sure you probably did it too, Jordan. But
that been a little laggy though.
That's why Jordan's saying I got caught because the thing was lagging. I bobbed. I should have weaved.
But it was just surreal. It was surreal. Like, but honestly, I think we should start with like coming out of the tunnel. You know, like as a Florida, as a local, like I could say I'm local. I'm 30 minutes down the road. You know, coming out of that tunnel. Coming out of the tunnel was like the most surreal moment when you were a young kid and you're like, oh, I'm sitting in the recruiting section watching these players, not knowing that I was gonna be one of them one day, just hoping and wishing and praying that it was gonna be me one day. And like the banging and the stomping and here come the Gators, all of that. Like I remember the first time I ran out of that tunnel and I start to hear the players like beat on the cage. I'm like, oh my God, like it you almost feel like you're in third person and you're watching yourself like in some type of football movie. Like I'm like, this is like really happening, but I don't feel like I'm me right now. I feel like I'm like I'm the cameraman watching myself run out of this tunnel and like it's just you so caught up in the moment that you just do some weird junk that you ain't never did before. I don't know about you, Jordan, but the first time I ran out, I probably ran out there like with going like this.
Flying the plane. Land the plane, Mark. Land the
Now you're
plane.
9 years old, man.
You know, something so cringe like that. I'm looking back at it,
Yeah.
I'm like, it was cringe, bro. But like when you a kid, you're 18 years old and you like living your dream. It feels surreal. It doesn't feel real. And so now fast forward to the first touchdown. I hear the stadium, like I didn't think people would care. We already up 50 something to 0 or something like that. I didn't think they was gonna care. I'm running to the end zone. They go crazy. It just erupts. I'm like, oh my God, this is what it feel like. It was, and then Mike McNeely met me in the end zone, Gideon Ajabi, and then I think one other person, but and those are some of my best friends. So like that was like, it was just an awesome moment, you know, like I still think about that day. I ain't gonna lie to you, I got that video saved in my phone right now.
You better. What you talking about?
Hey, you already know when I pull that thing. Hey, when somebody start talking about some football, I'll be like, oh yeah, y'all gotta see this right here.
Going crazy.
Yeah, no, it was. And Swamp went crazy. The coaching staff going crazy because like everybody, as I said, like everybody knew my career and knew how it started. So you got George Wynn hopping up and down, like jumping like he back in Georgia playing safety or whatever. Like you got Coach White's son jumping up and down. Like I remember seeing them as I'm running down the sideline. Like I'm like, oh my God, like I'm about to score. And I see George running down the sideline with me and Coach White's son jumping up and down. He was the ball boy. And just the team going crazy because everybody was just excited for me. And to give you even more context on that, I wasn't even supposed to be in the game, bro. I was not supposed to be in the game. So what happened was, oh man, I'm finna really out myself. I was tired. We were up 50 to like, I don't know, it was like 50 to 0 at the time, I think. I think they scored later on in the game. I don't remember. But I was tired. I'm getting beat up on kickoff. You know, I'm still in the game because I'm you know, there's one of the special teams guys, so they never take me out. Like I didn't get a sub or whatever on special teams. So I'm still gonna run down there and crack heads and stuff. I did hurt my ankle. But I milked it. Like I was like, yeah, I'm done for today. So I got my ankle iced up. You know, I'm sitting on the sideline. It's the end of the game. KT finna get in. Coach White say, Mark, you're up. I said, oh hell no. I start ripping off the ice and everything. The trainers are like, no, you can't go. You can't go. I'm like, what y'all mean? F that. I'm looking for my helmet. I'm scrambling on the sideline looking for my helmet. I finally snagged my helmet. It might not even have been my helmet. I just grabbed the helmet, put that junk on, got back in the game, and Coach White, the staff is screaming at Coach White like he's not supposed to be in. His ankle's rolled. His ankle's rolled. My ankle wasn't rolled that bad, you know. I get back in the game. I'm out there. My ankle is kind of pounding a little bit, and then Treon changes the play. So we originally called something, and then he checked it to smash. This is how I can remember this moment. He goes smash devil, just like that, smash devil. And I'm like, and I'm looking at the field, and from practice we ran it so many times that I know if they play cover 2 and I'm one-on-one with that linebacker, I'm scoring. And I see the safety split. I'm like, oh, it's cover 2. It's sweet. I just peep at Treon before the play. I just peep at him like I didn't say nothing to him, but I'm like, bro, if you don't give me the ball, I'm coming back and cracking you like a new one. But, I get around, I dip, I do a little shoulder dip around the linebacker, and I just look. I'm like, if this ball's not in the air right now, because I got to split the safeties, right? If this ball's not in the air, I'm getting toasted. He gonna lead me right into the safety. So I split the linebacker, and I figure like he's playing me man, and all I got to do is beat him because the safety's going like this. We got 2 like corners or whatever, right? So I beat the safety, I beat the linebacker, and then I just go look back, ball's right there, bing, or I catch it like this. Actually, I catch it like this, and now I'm going off to the races. I think there was like a safety on my right. I make him miss, and then I'm down the sideline. That's it. You know, that's all she wrote. I get back to the sideline after all this happened. Everybody like screamed, the trainer screaming at me, Coach George Wynn looking at me like, I thought you was hurt. You know, even though he was happy for me and everything, the trainer are dog cussing me because they like, you broke protocol, you wasn't supposed to be in the game, da da da. Coach White was like, hey man, you know how Coach White talk. Hey man, they told me your ankle was rolled. Like, why'd you get in the game? I'm like, Coach White, you ain't never like when's gonna be my next chance to have an opportunity to do something, like to get back in the game or to play at running back. I didn't know, so but yeah, that's how that actually went down. I think that's the year I tore my ACL, wasn't it? Or was it?
No, I'm looking right now though.
Jordan, you weren't there yet. You weren't there yet. Right? I think that was the year I tore my ACL. It was off my was that my sophomore season? I don't remember.
Had to be,
the score was 58-0 when I'm watching you run down the field right now.
Yeah, I knew it was something. Yeah, I knew it was like
58-0. Mark, not gonna lie here, not much of a celebration. Maybe we can use the excuse like, hey, games at hand, don't need to celebrate, but you kind of just
keep it classy. Act like you've been there. You feel me?
Big Barry Sanders guy. Find the ref, hand him the ball.
I thought I was going to score many more after that. If I knew that was going to be the only one I had in the end zone, man, you would have had to drag me off the field. You feel me? But yeah, that's how that went. But yeah. So that was a long story, but yeah, that's how
good story, bro.
No, for sure.
I got plenty more. If y'all ask, I got some funny stories from the perspective of like because I don't know, most of y'all may not know, but I'm also a believer. I'm Christian. And so like I have the perspective of that in the just like trying to balance that out, like as a student athlete and as a believer, as a child of God, like trying to balance that out with coming from a small town, going to a school like that where even as a walk-on, everybody knows who you are. Obviously, like we know how the culture is, like you get a lot of people throwing themselves at you and whatnot. I got all kinds of different stories and different.
It didn't sound like you were a believer when you were recounting that official visit, Mark.
Hey, look, all of us started somewhere, and honestly, my freshman year, in a lot of the old players will tell you, my nickname at the University of Florida, and maybe Jordan remember, is Herndog. So,
okay, born again. We're born again.
Jeez.
We were born again. We were born again, Mark.
No, not Horndog. Herndog.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a double entendre, man.
Nah, it is. What's funny, it really is. But
it is.
So Jordan thought they called me that because I was a dog, because I was a dog out on the field. But they didn't really know why they called me that. I never really explained that, but as you can as y'all getting that, that's why they called me that. It wasn't because the field, so there's all kinds of
Midtown.
That's before, I met Kevin Sides, and I got with Gideon Ajabi, I got with Max Garcia and all these guys, and they corralled around me and, brought me back. But before that, I was a little reckless.
I love it.
Shout out to Max Garcia. Max is one of my OG dogs.
Oh, actually, do y'all got a second?
Yeah.
We got
a few seconds.
Max Garcia. I walked in.
Like ask all the McElwain guys, where were they when they found him naked, when they saw him naked on the boat?
This is the new who had the best hands on the team. You're asking all the McElwain guys, where were you when you saw Jim fishing?
Yeah.
While we wait for Mark to come back, we're gonna wrap up the show after this story.
Look at that.
If he watching, Max, I got your jersey, bro. Like they knew me and him were so close that they gave me his jerseys. They were like, hey, look, like we don't know when we're gonna see him again after he left, but you could just take his jerseys. So I got his jerseys, and I've told him multiple times I got him, but I just never got it to him. But
I don't think he want them, man. You want my address?
There might be a former player that you might have mentioned on this show that might want them and try to sell them, and so just keep them in good hands. Keep them.
Max is actually working out the last pro day, two pro days ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was trying to get that 10th year.
Oh, is he going back?
Nah, I know he was trying to get that 10th year. That's why he worked out.
Yeah, he worked out. So he has 9 years. He was trying to get back into the league because he had left, I think, like not ability wise. I think he had offers and just like didn't take them, and then realized like, oh shoot, I'm 1 year away from a pension.
This close.
Pension year would be kind of cool.
Dang, I didn't know that. I know he's doing music and stuff now.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say I got his jerseys. Somebody got my helmet. I don't know if you guys watching. No, you know how they give you your helmet your senior year? Somebody stole my junk, man. I'm so mad about that. So if y'all want to help me, Gator fans out there want to help me find my helmet. If y'all want to help me find my helmet, somebody got my helmet.
Casting allegations here. I'm gonna look one place first.
That's your point, Mark Thompson.
All right, Nick. All right,
Mark Thompson. Even what am I missing?
Yeah.
Somebody got my junk.
Yeah.
Check eBay.
You say check eBay. You're lying to me.
Check eBay and then check Twitter history from about a year and a half ago.
What? I know exactly what I remember. You're right.
Yeah. We'll talk about it after.
Ask your old running mate.
Yeah.
The
guy that you said scared everybody when he walked into the room. But we're not trying to create any problems here. Mark, man, you've got a bunch of stories. We want to have you on in the future. We're already over 2 hours.
That's all good.
Mark, if you're back in Ocala, fall camp starts Wednesday. Oh, any former players are welcome back at camp.
To come watch?
Yeah,
I'd be more than happy to come check it out. I want to
practice mad early. It's like
bring me along. I'm not a former player, as you can tell, but I'd like to be there.
I was actually trying to plan. I was finna get with. So I think this would be good if any former Gators are watching. There's or gonna watch this. There's Pizza Bill. If you guys aren't familiar with him, but he
Bill
pretty
Feinberg,
much So he pretty much corrals us and stuff, and like kind of helps us like kind of come back and visit the school. It might be other people as well, but I know for one, he's one of the main guys that I go to, and a good resource. But I was trying to plan a trip back. I wanted to bring me, Coach Salzer, the guy who basically started my career at Florida, and one of my family members up to just come toward the new facility. I haven't even seen the new facility or nothing yet, and I'm back in Ocala, so I just wanted to go up and check it out as a former player and see what's changed, But yeah, I do plan on going back up there. I forgot camp starts soon. Oh, I feel sorry for the new freshmen. Great day. I mean, I don't know how it is. It's probably sweet compared to us.
It's a little bit better.
They going back to their 3-bedroom house, 2 baths.
Yeah, they got.
No, Bill. Look at this.
They got rights and benefits now, Mark.
Bill Rudd said if they ever need somebody to play a younger Jamie Foxx, Mark could do it.
Can you sing?
Got
I can see it.
Some Luther Vandross.
Oh no. So my freshman year we had a little competition, a little talent show. Yeah. Freshmen have to do a talent show for the seniors during camp, in the middle of camp. And I said I could sing. And Mike Gillisley, all of them sitting in the front row, Jordan Reed, all of them sitting in the front row. And I'm like, I could sing. So everybody egging me on to sing. Man, the first note that came out my mouth, my voice cracked so quick. I was talking about the whole room erupted. That was my freshman year. And that was like the first impression as a walk-on, like that everybody got of me. So like from then on, that whole season, they just riding me about that jump. But yeah,
Mark, I told Jordan, Jordan's gonna give me my number. Hit me up. We'll get you out.
Yeah. I would love to come out.
I'll give you my number too, Nick. I'd like to go.
I told you, Dan. If you donate enough to Florida Victorious, I can get you out of practice. But Mark is a letter winner.
John saw me when I was an intern.
Letter winner, touchdown scorer. He gets to go in.
Maybe I'll bring Dan as my guest.
I appreciate that.
Plus,
see,
Mark,
you see, this is friendship. Nick, you could learn a thing or two from Mark. Mark, we're gonna absolutely have you on the show. I'd love to have you on during the season. But man, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much again. It's always fun chopping it up. And I always tell people, I was talking to Miguel Carradine on Friday, and he was a walk-on. And he's like, "Oh man, do people want to hear from walk-on?" Yeah. And I was like, yeah, man, you guys have such a different perspective. You guys have a lot of really interesting, unique, and different stories, and a lot of the guys that we have on here. So when Jordan said he was going to get you on, I was pumped, and you delivered, more than delivered. Great
100%.
energy, great charisma, and we appreciate you for joining tonight.
No, thank you guys for having me. Honestly, being here makes me emotional because I miss those times. I don't miss the playing and whatnot as much, or the training and the practices, but I more so just miss talking with my friends, and this gave me a moment to kind of reminisce on all that, being back on here. I know me and Jordan, we talked, we even lived together for a little bit before.
Oh, gosh. That's the story for another day, yo. Me and Mark could go on for hours about what we
Horndog brothers.
Yeah, you gotta make sure the statute. Bro, hold on, you gotta make sure the statute of limitations is up before those stories.
Now we talking about something, bro.
Yeah,
we lived together for it was like 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months. It was like in between like spring or fall and something like that. Summer, I don't know, summer and fall.
Me trying to have a big heart.
Man, that's an off story. That's an off camera story.
Yeah. We're gonna keep the patrons here for another hour if we get into Jordan.
But yeah,
Mark's gonna have to apologize to his girlfriend again.
No,
Jordan would have to apologize to his wife.
There is that, but it was something totally.
Yeah, it was off the wall. Y'all would never guess.
Yeah, I just had back then. I was too pure. And I was too kind.
That was too pure.
The Herndog was too pure. All right.
Being Horndog and too pure at the same time is crazy.
That's nuts. We can't have this on our show. Can't have it on our show. Mark, we're going to have you back on in the future because Corey has a question for you that we ask all former players, and that's going to give us a reason to get you back.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We appreciate you, dude. Have a great rest of your night.
You guys too. Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Appreciate you.
Gotta get that boy on game day eve, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's
he'd be great. We'll have to record at like 8 a.m. so we can get done before game time.
I like how descriptive he is, man. Great storyteller, bro.
Great
He
storyteller.
definitely got the stories for days. Because you got to think he low-key went through some eras now. He had a little bit of that.
Yeah.
He got a little taste
He was
of everything.
2012 through
2017.
17?
Yeah, because he had a redshirt year in there, yeah. So, Mark Herndon, we appreciate you for joining the show.
Title of the show is Horndog.
Or is it the old fly out?
I like the old fly out too.
We'll talk about that after the show.
Flying them things in. He's flying. He think he got Magic City the way he's flying them in. I like it. That explains those top 5 recruiting classes.
It's a lot of stories made sense because of that. So we appreciate Mark Herndon. We appreciate Landon Tengwall for joining the show today. We will see you guys at the same corner, same time next week. Thanks for everybody for watching. See you.